Mark Dillard here is looking at all this motion here. Now, Reed is interesting, guys, because he's coming in from the north. And sometimes coming in from the north, you can see things that you can't see coming in from other directions. So if Reed's stream is unlocked, let's go back to it. Okay, as soon as it does, you just take it, okay? In the south and far south metro by around 4:50. It's 4:16 right now. 4:50, but especially give or take 5 o'clock. So here's the chopper. So, man, what do you see there, John?
Yeah, right now, Mike, it's really hard for us to see. You can definitely see that lowering.
And it's over the central, now gravitating gradually to the eastern sides of Ninnekah. What can you see back up here in this rain? And tell us where your location is right now. Still could be a significant tornado on the ground. This is Grady County, southwest metro, a little bit south of Chickasha. Go Mark Dillard.
I believe I'm seeing kind of a whitish funnel starting to form just right in that notch right there. But the sky is such a dark color right in there. It's so hard to make it out.
So let me just say something. Let's go to the north, the south. So we're talking a mile east of and a little, but that still looks like a TVS right there. Now this is going to be, this is 4 east.
The circulation that you can basically consider it on the ground is definitely rotating rain curtains. I did see that brief funnel that began to touch down there. Also, Mark was talking about, but it's definitely east, and it looks like it was getting better organized at times. So I'm trying to flip around and get east to Chickasha.
Guys, southeast out of Chickasha.
Are you guys? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, it's about a mile south of Chickasha. About a mile south of Chickasha.
Yeah, it's going to cross 19 there in about 60 seconds. It's going to cross 19, and it still very much looks like a TVS. So it's quite a ways. It's almost due southeast of Chickasha right now. Let's go, Mark Dillard.
Yes, Mike. We're looking at that feature there. It's just crossed 19. From what I can tell, we're back. We almost went back toward 81, a couple of miles. Now we're pulling back toward it. It's crossed over 19. It's going to be affecting just the very southeastern sides of Chickasha. So folks in Chickasha, southeast sides especially, take cover. In fact, Mike, even back in behind it, I've got the scud so low to the ground, difficult to tell where the next circulation center is going to take over. But coming down to the ground, from what I can tell, wrapping up in rain. Back to you.
Yeah, it's wrapped up in rain. That's what it is. It's wrapped up in rain. Now it's trying to lift north to Tabler, gang. It's trying to lift north to Tabler, you folks in Dibble, Kreiner, Cole, Washington, over in McLean County, and not impossible as far north as Blanchard, not impossible as far north as Norman. Yes, it is still, yes, it just trying to lift north. It looks like it's red line center lining for Dibble. Let's go to the storm tracker. There you go. So it's red line center lining for Dibble here. Again, we've had huge hail here, 3.7 inch in diameter, heading up toward Noble. So it's red line center lining for Noble, but here's your time. Tabler 427, Dibble 442, your red line center line, Dibble. Blanchard 444, and then Washington at 454 at Riverwind Casino if it wobbles to the north at all, and it's wobbling northward right now. It's wobbling northward right now. It swung through the mesocyclone. Now it's on the northeast side of the mesocyclone. So if it keeps wobbling to the north, that's more of an elevated danger cone here. Right now, red line, center line, Dibble, Cole, and Noble. And you folks in Goldsby, really heads up here. This is produced and very strong indication. A powerful tornado and a large tornado on the ground. Let's go back to Mark Dillard here. Tornado warning continues for Grady County. Go, Mark.
Yeah, Mike, just wrapped up in the rain here, trying to get out back to the east of it on 19, where it can hopefully feed it over to Dibble. But it's just pouring on top of us now, Mike. I'm trying to punch back through it. Nonetheless, folks, take your tornado precautions. Best advice I can give you at this point. It's a very messy situation. All this rain wrapping in on it at times. We've had a confirmed touchdown about 15 minutes ago, back when it was over I-44. But my best advice is you're not going to be able to come out and see this. You need to take your tornado precautions. Mike, back to you.
Yeah, you're good there. Let's broaden that out. The motion's amazing. Look at the motion. The motion is amazing. Look how that hook is trucking along, and look at the spin rate. Look at the spin rate in that, and it's a really big hook. So here's McLean County, here's Cleveland County. So look at the feeder bands get sucked. That storm there got sucked into it. It was coming northwest, and it got right into it. Amazing presentation there. Powerful hook, and likelihood of tornadoes into McLean County. Although right now I don't have a TVS. I've lost the TVS, the tornado vortex signature. Right now I've lost it. It is. Dibble and South Blanchard, Highway 9 would be very dangerous right now. What an amazing presentation, and look how everything's getting sucked into it as it comes up into McLean County. Really amazing. This is the most powerful storm on planet Earth right now by a long shot.
Yeah, Mike, just still trying to punch out of this stuff. The rain, I mean, it is like a hurricane down here, Mike. I've got crossing 50-mile-an-hour gusts, driving this rain. It's a little like chasing in a hurricane, Mike. The center circulation is going to be off. We're going to try to get over to Dibble. Back to you.
Stream up.
They do have a stream up.
So we have a storm tracker. Our 8th storm tracker now has arrived on the scene here. Steve Pusateri and Pusa's and Aaron. Yes, looking Tabler southbound. Guys, can you see it? County still. Let's go over to the storm tracker. Let's go to the storm tracker. Grady County still, tornado warning. And let's go over to max 3, still 458 for South Norman. 458 for South Norman. And the hook here, as you can clearly see, look at the rotation rate. It's really amazing. Really incredible. So the hook continues to chug along. It's riding that warm front, and that warm front is now coming up, it's right over Noble is where the warm front is right now. Matt, let's back out a little, and we got to give folks an overview. Let's see what else is going on out there. So we have this huge supercell with this gigantic hook. The hook, the mesocyclone, is dominating the entire storm. It's physically trying to pull the big hail and rain into it. So the mesocyclone's dominating the entire storm. So here's McLean, here's Cleveland, there's Norman. Now you're going to have to shift over radars here, Matt, so we can look at other things. This one here is outflow dominant, but large hail here. So large hail, Marlow, Duncan. This one earlier produced 3.7-inch diameter hail, huge hail. So huge hail here, severe thunderstorm warning, Marlow, Duncan, Rush Springs, down to Comanche. Let's look, Matt, at the southern part of that line there, southern part of that line. Okay, nothing there as far as any organization. That's going to be what we call outflow dominant. It's on the cold front, so not impossible to get tornadoes with this, but right now, huge hail with that. Let's go back up to the northern storm here. Go back to Aaron Brackett. He's in Tabler, very, very close to the tornado.
Mike, that's right. On 62 near Tabler. Whatever I see out to basically the right-hand side of the car, that's either the circulation or it's a massive wedge on the ground. We're very close to it, Mike. Radar presentation, absolutely incredible, as you've been telling folks, and this thing means business. We were driving through the rain in Chickasha to get out ahead of this thing to get you guys a picture, and the inflow was still happening even as we were taking hail.
Noble Center at 503. Purcell, though, 502. So Noble here, red line, center line, the cone of danger, still takes it up into Noble, though. So as it wobbles here on its path, tornadoes, additional tornadoes are very possible. And Noble. Tornado warning there now, McLean and Cleveland counties. Let's go back. Yeah, whose picture? Aaron Brackett here looking at it. Brand new tornado warning here in effect now for McLean, Cleveland. Aaron Brackett's looking right at that storm. Aaron.
Mike, this is it. We continue along the storm. I'm looking out my back glass right now, my back window. It is just nighttime there, Mike. So we're staying out ahead of it. We're getting you that good shot. This is that rotation right there, the mesocyclone. Got a lot of low moisture feeding into this thing, keeping it alive. I see no reason for it to stop, Mike. Keeping it alive. I see no reason for it to stop, Mike.
Looks like we're looking at the warm front here. I'm not showing a TVS. Not showing a TVS in here. There's a very strong mesocyclone, but not showing a TVS. No guarantee one way or the other whether or not it's on the ground. I don't see a TVS. And the south Doppler is only 20 miles away, so I don't see a TVS. Let's go over to the south and take a look. And if you've been watching us here for the past further apart. There's no TVS in here. You've got a lot of wind shear, and it's strong southeast of Tabler. These colors now being right next to each other. Look how broad everything is now. Very broad shift. Very broad shift in all these colors here. Nothing real dramatic, nothing chaotic going on southeast of Tabler. But still, the tornado warning less than 5 minutes that it would produce another tornado. But I don't see TVS in there right. And I-35 in Norman, 5 o'clock, river wind still 458. But right now it may turn more toward Purcell and Noble, still red line, center line. But you folks in Purcell may have a higher likelihood of it being closer to you than Norman, although that is impossible to say right now. It's possible. Say that again. Norman will be sounding their sirens from their Twitter feed. Norman will be sounding their sirens from their Twitter feed. Let's go back over. Let's go to Reed here, Dominator 4. Check it out. Reed, what do you have?
And Mike, back in position, heading east on 277, about 2 to 3 miles west of the circulation. Don't have visual of the tornado itself, but I can see a very large, dark area that is the circulation. About to come into the hook. I'm executing a hook slice here, so coming west to east through the hook, and then we should gain visual of the tornado. I can barely see. There's a lot of spray. You can definitely tell there's a tornadic storm because it's ripping apart all the all the raindrops. We have this mesomist on the back side of it, and it looks like a very large circulation just to our east. Should have visual here any minute, probably about 2 miles west of the tornado if it is on the ground right now. Back to you, Mike.
Okay, appreciate that. Now, we've got a bit of a problem here down in the South Metro right now. Let's go to the storm tracker. And the problem is this. There's tons and tons of congestion right here. Now, you know, it may not come now. You know, it may not come to the north. Let's go over to Max 2 control room. So here's I-35. Here's Noble. Here's I-35 right here. There's Goldsby. On Max 2, back out just a hair. On Max 2, back out just a hair. Back out just a hair. Okay, so we've got a lot of folks up here on the interstate. It's kind of a mess right here. It's kind of a mess right here. Here comes the mesocyclone. And here comes the mesocyclone. It's a mess down here in the South Metro. It's a mess down here in the South Metro and around the river wind. Mess going on right here. And I-35 so what you all need to know is that you are under a tornado warning. So what you all need to know is that you are under a tornado warning. And Norman is going to sound their sirens. With a history of producing tornadoes here with damage. I don't show a tornado in the wind right now on the Doppler. I don't show a tornado in the wind right now on the cyclone is. But it could recycle up through see how large that mesocyclone is. Washington, and it's coming up through Dibble, Noble, Kreiner, and Norman is in the tornado warning, and so is the river wind. And Norman is in the tornado warning, and so is the river wind. Will have to turn northward to impact the river wind and South Norman. It's going to travel from Dibble. So, you know, you don't want to be heading down this. Day, Friday evening, and it is heavily congested.
I just wanted to let you know that, yeah, traffic is backed up to Main Street here for southbound I-35, and as we can kind of see the bend right there in I-34 as it goes across the bridge, and traffic is backed up there as well. A lot of people are getting off on the city streets, trying to make it in.
Norman.
Yeah, Mike, I'm about to land at the airport. I'm directly over the airport now, shooting back towards the south.
Okay. Appreciate that. We're going to check back with John here momentarily. I do not, let's go to the south. Circulation, but I don't see a tornado here in this wind, and the South Dop is now 12 miles away from it. So this is all super high. Coal. There's a lot of wind shear right here. Wind shear as in straight line wind and some shifting wind, but I don't see a tornado in this mesocyclone right here. So we're going to just keep close track of that. Let's go to Max. Riding the warm front, it has made a turn more to the north. As you look at the motion there, you can see it's made a slight jog to the north. Okay, so tornado warning for McLean and Norman. OU has issued there, still barely in Grady County. It's going to go over Cole, and then from there it's going to go over Goolsby, and it'll go very close to or a little south of the river wind because it's made a jog to the north. Reads inside the circulation, doesn't see a tornado.
Circulation should be maybe about a quarter mile south of it. And all I see is really heavy rain and a lot of spray. I don't see any structure to the clouds here. And I'm right where the circulation should definitely be, and there's no tornado on the ground right now. That doesn't mean that it can't change.
Much, Reed. Appreciate that a lot. Again, I don't see a tornado here in the I don't see a tornado in the wind on the Doppler, so that's very, very important. Now, do we have Aaron Brackett? I think he's down near Middleburg, which is very close to the circulation, just to his south. Aaron, what do you have? I think he's down near Middleburg, which is very close to the circulation, just to his south. Aaron, what do you have?
All right, Mike, right now we're near Blanchard, actually. We're near Blanchard, actually coming into the town of Blanchard. Just heavy rain, and really much as what we're seeing from the other trackers out there, it's really hard to tell any definition with this. It's just a wall of absolute nighttime behind us, absolute nighttime. So whatever's in there, if there is something right now, if it's recycling and it does reproduce a tornado, folks are not going to see it. They're just going to see what looks like a big thunderstorm on the way with torrential rainfall, and there's some hail, and they've been in and out of the hail. So in Blanchard right now, staying out ahead of this, Mike. We'll continue to let you know what we see with this thing, but it's just a wall of nighttime out here.
Okay, appreciate that, Aaron Brackett. So let's go to the storm tracker. Again, so what we have now is we have tornado warning for Norman, tornado warning for the OU campus, tornado warning for McLean and Cleveland counties, not showing a tornado in the wind on the Doppler, and the South Dop is only 9 miles away from it now. It's very, very close, so we're looking at high-resolution data. So the mesocyclone spinning, but don't see anything inside that mesocyclone. Let's go back to reconfirm with...
We're just a few miles west of Dibble, probably 4 or 5 miles west of Dibble, sampling the circulation heading north, about to head back east-northeast on 277. But right now, it doesn't seem as windy either inside the circulation as it did before when the...
You know, it looks like Norman, you know, you guys should be fine, but you just don't know for sure because they can't.
Northbound right back into it, trying to catch it back up to it. We're northbound out of Lindsay, just went around a roadblock. The law enforcement has closed traffic on highway, I believe it's 76, northbound, so that's a good thing. Anyway, we're heading north and be back on it here shortly. Back to you.
Okay. All right, let's go to the let's go to Max 2. So what we have here is we have a tornado warning continuing, and the mesocyclone here, the parent circulation is just spinning. But looking inside of that, we've got Reed inside of it, and we've got 5 storm trackers and the chopper here kind of from the north to the east to the southeast of it. Reed's inside of that, and he sees nothing on the ground, and even he said the wind is not as vicious as it was, and we can confirm that because the South Dop, which is located right there, we're looking right at it, from Newcastle, it's only now 8 miles away from it, is not showing a tornado inside of that. It's just spinning. So the tornado warning continues, yes, because they can cycle and change very, very quickly, and it is a big mesocyclone. I mean, it's a big ball of spin right there, and it's going to go right over Cole, so that means you do need to take your tornado precautions. But we see a sample of wind every 30 seconds or so as that South Doppler swings through it, and we're looking at very detailed information. And let's go to the South Dop here and look at it and just make sure nothing's changed here in the past 60 seconds. There's no tornado inside of that. There's Blanchard, there's Cole, there's the river wind, there's Lindsay and I-35 right there, there's Goolsby. There's no tornado in that wind field. Now there's going to be some damaging wind, and there's still some large hail with it, And we'll let the beam come on through and just look. There's no chaotic motion in here showing a tornado in that wind. So, but the maximum spin is about 3.5, 4 south of Blanchard right now is the maximum spin. And it's going to go over Cole and Goldsby and Washington. Norman should be fine. Kind of a little bit tenuous for the far southern edges of Norman, down around Lloyd Noble. But I would think, the way it looks right now, that Norman's probably going to be okay. Let's go back over to Max 3.
Look at the northwest side of the spin.
Yeah, yeah.
Drawing a little bit.
Yeah, so that's from the south dop there. And it's being attenuated by a hail core, which is now over the south dop. So the biggest hail's up here over Blanchard, coming into South Newcastle right now. So that's one thing we really haven't mentioned, is that the biggest hailstones, go to the hail algorithm on that, Matt. The biggest hailstones are up here on the northern side of the mesocyclone, and you know where that is heading, okay? That is heading into the Riverwind Casino. So that's large hail. Query that latest, right there should be about 2.1, 2.3. Hit that yellow right there. 2.0. 2.0, so, you know, bigger than a golf ball, smaller than a tennis ball. And that is heading into South Norman, and including the Riverwind Casino. So right now, bigger than a golf ball, smaller than a tennis ball, and it looks like, go back to the, there you go, and zoom on in, there's 2.2. So not quite tennis ball. So that's the big hail there now is Blanchard east to South Newcastle, heading into Goldsby. The river wind is right there. That's where the big hail core is. It's going right into the southwest side of Norman, and it's also going into central and south Norman. So we didn't mention the hail core too much. We're focusing on the tornado a lot, which does not appear to be on the ground, does not. We don't see it in the wind, but there's big hail here, golf ball to tennis ball size. Let's go back over to Reed Timmer if we have Reed. Tornado warning continues. That really is the bottom line. Tornado precautions, yes. Reed, where are you? What do you have?
I'm on 277. Probably just northwest of Dibble. Still more of the same, Mike. A lot of strong winds, a lot of rain, and I still can't make out any cloud base or lowering. Normally, when you get close to a tornado like this, so we're really close to the circulation, you'd have really a lot of wind, a lot of spray, a lot of meso mist, and we're not seeing that right now. It's just a lot of heavy rain. That doesn't mean it can't tighten up. One thing about this storm is and that broad mesocyclone, and then in a matter of seconds, it would tighten up into a tornado, so it still could happen. But from my perspective, inside this beast, I'm just seeing a lot of rain, a lot of horizontal hail trying to smash out the side windows, but no tornado on the ground right now. Back to you,
Okay,
Mike.
Reed, I want to talk to you for a minute. Let's go over to the south Doppler again. There might be an effort at a tornado right here. It's going to be on the highway 3 northwest of Dibble. There might be an effort at a tornado right there. If it is, it's a pretty broad, tornado. Doesn't appear to be, well, it isn't nearly as powerful as it was earlier. But there may be an effort there, 2.5 to 3 northwest of Dibble, of maybe, let's let this beam come through it again here. Again, here's Norman right here. Washington, Cole, Dibble. Reed, tell us where from Dibble are you right now? If you go 2.5 to 3 north of Dibble, right there it is. Now that is getting a little tighter there. 3 north of Dibble, there may be potential of something rain-wrapped right in that area. What do you have, Reed?
I am at that location. The wind speeds have increased since I talked to you last, but still there's a lot of spray. I can't see some dark sky just to the southeast, but I'm right at that location. So if there was a tornado right here, I'd see it, but there is a lot of rain. The winds, I would say, are probably 40, 45. Right now, I'm on 377, and I've got winds. It's like for 277, sorry. Got winds northeasterly right now, so that would put the circulation just to the south of my location. When you go blind like this, you got to go by the wind direction. With that northeast wind, I'm probably just north of the circulation that you're talking about. And
Street, Lindsay Avenue, I-35 and the river in Norman. That's tightened up considerably, right? It's tightened up considerably right there. So that may be a rain-wrapped vortex, tornado vortex there. It's tightened up a lot. Let's let the beam come through it here again. That may be a rain-wrapped tornado vortex right there. Let's let the beam go through it and see what it's doing. Yes, right there. Yeah, look at that. Right there together. That may be a tornado right there on the ground. If it isn't, it's getting very, very close. So in other words, it's all ramped back up again. Let's check out Emily Sutton here. Look at her feed. Let's go to Emily. Emily?
Yeah, Mike, we're located in the town of Washington. We're looking off to the northwest towards Cole. I think you are looking at the rain-wrapped tornado. Possibly. We definitely could see the base of it. We hear the siren sounding. And, yeah, I think we are looking straight at it. You aren't going to be able to see it, folks, so definitely don't try and go out and look at it. Seek shelter immediately. We watched the base for a while, and now the rain's kind of wrapping around it. And, yeah, we have to be staring right at it, Mike, to the northwest.
Okay, possible rain-wrapped tornado here from Emily, looking right at it from just south of Dibble. And it sure looks like it's going to travel right over Cole. So let's go ahead and go to the Max 2 here. We're getting large hail now coming down Highway 9. We'll check out the hail size here. Let's go to Max 2. We're going to check in with Reed. He's inside the mesocyclone. Let's go to Max 2 full if we can. Full so we can see the detail. Yes?
Corey's on the bridge. It's just north of him.
Okay. What is just north of Corey?
Tornado.
Okay, let's go to Corey Inman. Check it out. Corey Inman, are you there on the bridge? Coming into Cole right now. What do you see?
Yeah, Mike, we're headed east out of Cryer and then up towards Washington. The area you're talking about is due north of us between Dibble and Washington. It did try to tighten up there for just a second. We didn't see a tornado touchdown, and then the rain moved in. We had to get back to the east here, getting probably 40 to 50 mile an hour winds out of the west on the RFP. We're going to get here to the east and get back north and get a better shot of it for you. Back to you.
Okay. Looks like still a tornado about a mile west of Cole. It's either a tornado or it's very, very close to it. Let's go to Reed Timmer. Say that again? I-35 is closing at 19th Street and more. North and south. I-35 north and south at 19th Street and more. I-35 is closing. Let's go to Reed Timmer live. Reed?
And I got just northwest of the circulation, still stopped into the wraparound, trying to get in better position. I've got to reposition on 277 and then head east and head on the south to the east of Cole. But right now we're still getting big wraparound. Winds are due northerly. So the circulation is about 2 miles to my east. Exactly where you have it, but I don't have visual of this tornado. I'm still in the hook. Back to you, Mike.
Okay, I am showing what appears to be a small, potentially a small tornado about a half mile west of Cole right now. Let's go to the south top here. We can check this out. Little small, looks like a little small tornado. It's right here. That's we're talking. Those are opposing directions there in about a 150-foot distance across. So it looks like a small tornado. Now 1 mile to a half mile due west of Cole right now. The river wind's right here. Let's go to Max 2. Look at the hail. Here's I-35. I-35 South 19th and more now. Both north and south has been closed. I-35 is closed. So it's right here. There's even a weakness there in the reflectivity. So look at the hail core there. Yeah, so the bigger hail still trucking right up into the river wind. Query that hail size there, about probably 2.4 maybe. Might even be a 2.5 just between Dibble, 2.6. 2.6 now, so that's going to be Goolsby. So we're looking at tennis balls to maybe baseballs, but tennis balls, golf balls, and tennis balls. And the big hail core now, as we go back over to Max 3, let's go to Max 3. That's the hail there. Let's go to Max 3. The tornado right there, if it is on the ground. It's very close to Cole, and the big hail's in purple and bright red. So it's coming in on the river wind right now. Hail size running from 2 to 2.6 inches in diameter. Golf balls up to tennis ball size hail. Big, big hail. And that will be coming right into Norman here in just a few minutes. Let's go back to Reed Timmer in Dominator 4 near Cole. And Reed, it looks like it has just kind of exhaled or maybe spread out that little gate-to-gate rotation in terms of the velocities. So maybe the tornado tried to form. It may or may not still be on the ground. What do you have?
Yeah, Mike, I'm still probably about a mile and a half north of the circulation. I don't have visual of anything that looks like a tornado. I am getting some meso mist and strong northerlies into that location. A lot of inflow flowing into the storm. We're about to head east on Highway 9. We're a little north of the circulation, so I'm going to have to drop back south on the east side, see if we can gain visual of the tornado. But still more of the same. Just driving rain out here, barely see anything. There is a lot of flooding that's happening, too. So be careful about that as well. Lots of heavy rain, but the tornado threat is still legit about 2 miles to my south, probably 2 miles south of Highway 9, and we'll be back in position here shortly. Definitely getting a lot darker up ahead, so I think we might be about to punch through into some type of an inflow region with probably lighter rain. Back to you, Mike.
Okay, what we have here is I-35, both north and south at South 19th, and Moore has been closed. Up in Moore at South 19th, I-35 north and south has been closed. We have golf ball to tennis ball size hail now coming into the Riverwind Casino and south and central Norman. The tornado warnings continue for McLean and Cleveland counties, including Cole and South Norman, Noble and Goolsby and Purcell. Northern side of Purcell. But the red line center line right now is coming in from Cole to Goolsby, and then from there southeast Norman is the red line center line. Southeast Norman, we're talking about from the Lloyd Noble Center to the south and to the east. So Slaughterville, Noble area, there's your time of arrival, and we're looking at Norman area just a little after 5 o'clock here, and it's 5 till 5 right now. Let's go back over to the max number 3 here. Look at max 3, and it's still spinning away right here, and as you can clearly see, it's gone past Cole now, the center of that spin, and there's a weakness there right where the possible tornado is located. So it's traveling down the highway east of Cole, and it's traveling over to Goolsby and then Noble and near Slaughterville, but Noble and Goolsby, and then the big hail is in purple on the northern side of the mesocyclone here. That's on Highway 9 around the Riverwind Casino and South Norman and even up to central Norman. And right now we're showing 2 to 2.6 inch diameter hail. Who do we have here, guys, that has good looking pictures? We can go to them. We've got, I think, 8 trackers. Let's go to Aaron Brackett here live. Aaron?
All right, yeah, Mike, we were just by the Riverwind Casino about 3 minutes ago. Now we're on Highway 9 east of 35. The hail size was increasing very rapidly, so I can verify that here on the ground, that's for sure. Right now, we're actually right by the National Weather Service here on Highway 9, so we're heading up to the east, trying to stay ahead of this thing, looking for any circulation. The sky kind of has a little green tint to it out there, definitely a green tint and a just absolute wall of black on the way. So that hail size was coming up. We were getting some quarters, but I was trying to stay out ahead of it, and that's what we're doing right now, blasting east on Highway 9. Rainfall rates absolutely torrential out here. And we're looking for that rotation, Mike. We'll keep you updated here as we keep going on.
Appreciate that, Aaron. So I-35, Purcell in the south and Moore in the north has been closed. Both, well, Purcell in the south, you can't go northbound, and Moore, you can't go southbound. So I-35, they've closed it between Moore and Purcell, Oklahoma. And right now, still not showing, looks like it kind of exhaled. I think Bob Moore Chopper 4 is airborne. And we can go back with a full tank of Jet A fuel here, full tank of gas. John Welsh joins us now live. John?
Yeah, Mike, we're just kind of northeast, or southeast of Westheimer, shooting back towards that storm. Newcastle, or not Newcastle Casino, Riverwind Casino is going to be there in the bottom of our shot. And you can see we can get a pretty decent picture of the actual lowering. We can see the rain coming down in there, and it is extremely heavy. There's a lot of lightning on the north side of the storm that's coming into the southwest sides of Norman right now. But as far as any rotation or any lowering, we still are not able to see it just because the lack of light that's in there, and then too the amount of heavy rain that's in there. So if it is in there and rotating, we're probably not going to be able to see it just due to the heavy amounts of rain.
Okay, John, appreciate that. John lifted off from Max to Westheimer in Norman, and he's now over Noble. Still showing, let's go over to the south dop here, still showing strong circulation of a mesocyclone, but in the center of the circulation now is about 2.5 to 3 to the north of Washington. So it's going to be crossing I-35 here very close and just south of Goolsby. So Goolsby's located right here, so it's going to be going over Goolsby and then crossing I-35 at Goolsby, and then from there over Noble. So at this point, when we have a mesocyclone like this, you can have little spin-ups that can occur with tornadic activity, but the circulation itself is not as powerful as it was earlier. A lot of power poles snapped around Ninnakaw, from what we understand, down in Grady County when it went right over Ninnakaw. So we'll be checking that out. Emily Sutton now joins us live from not too far from Southwest Norman. Emily, what do you have?
35 at Johnson Road.
Yeah, hi, Mike. We're by 35 and Johnson Road. We're about to get to the I-35 corridor. We've been tracking this closely, and, the thing that I caution, I know you're talking about it, that it's recycling, but it's going to be challenging to actually see it because it will likely be rain-wrapped if anything does actually occur. We were really close to the circulation about 10 minutes ago, and we couldn't see anything except the base initially, but then just a huge shield of rain. So folks need to keep that in mind, that you need to take those tornado safety precautions, whether it's actually we're able to see it or not. Mike?
Okay, Emily, appreciate that. The circulation is tightening up a little bit northwest of Washington. So let's go to Reed Timmer. That's a shot there from Emily. Let's go ahead and check out Reed's view. Reed is inside this mesocyclone. Reed, you've been tracking this now for a long time. What do you see inside of there? There's still a pretty tight little area there just to the northwest of Washington. What do you have?
Yeah, Mike, I'm on Highway 9 right now, and the distance has definitely deteriorated since I talked to you last. There was just an accident back there on Highway 9, a hydroplaning thing. That guy was okay, thankfully. But I'm getting really close to the circulation. The wind is increasing, and I've got easterly component winds here on Highway 9. Is this circulation going to cross Highway 9 west of Norman? I'm getting close to it. I'm on Highway 9, headed that way. It looks very dark ahead. Hill size is increasing. Seeing some golf balls in here, sporadic golf balls. And we got traffic stopping up here ahead. But yeah, I can barely see anything, Mike. I've got to be getting really close to the circulation. Back to you.
Okay, so what we have here, let's go ahead and take a little broader look here. Let's go over to Max 2. Let's go to Max 2 here and check out Max 2. So still a tornado warning. The circulation now is on the northern side of Washington. The biggest hail here is running from west and south Norman, back down through the river wind, the bright red and the purple, and then back down to Cole. That's the biggest hail. Let's check out that hail size. Earlier, it was 2.6. Matt, go over there to 2, and let's check that out. There it is. Thank you, Libby. Sarah Libby is here, and we have still big hail here. And this is still going to be about 2 to 2.5 inches in diameter, the way it looks, maybe 2.2, 2.3. And that's now coming into Goldsby and also in South Norman. So Riverwind Casino still showing some large hail. A lot of golf balls here, a lot of golf balls. There might be a couple between golf ball and tennis ball size, but the biggest hail is from southwest Norman and South Norman down toward Goldsby. That's the biggest hail right now. A lot of golf balls, could be some golf ball to almost tennis ball size hail. The tornado warning does continue for McLean and western sections of Cleveland County, and the circulation will go to the south of Norman. The circulation, the parent circulation, the mesocyclone circulation will go south of Norman. But the big hail will go through parts of Norman. Let's go to Reed. He's up there in southwest Norman right now with some large hail. Reed, what do you have?
Yeah, Mike, I just passed Santa Fe on Highway 9, and there's big hail. It's bigger than golf balls out here. I can verify that. They're coming down, exploding around the vehicle. I haven't had any hit the windshield yet. Now, I've got southerly winds here on Santa Fe and Highway 9, which means that the circulation still could be headed this direction. Very dark ahead of me. Extremely strong winds here. Just east of Santa Fe on Highway 9. That's confirmed. We've got northeasterly winds.
Is your hail on Highway 9?
Highway 9.
How big?
Yeah, Highway 9 in Santa Fe.
I'm sorry. Say that again. How big's your hail down on Highway 9?
It was bigger than golf ball at Santa Fe and Highway 9.
Bigger than golf ball in southwest Norman. South Norman right now.
I-35 too, same size.
Bigger, yeah, same size on I-35 here on Highway 9. So bigger than golf balls. This is all over here at the Riverwind is where this is right now. And that's where Reed is, bigger than golf balls. So that's pretty damaging hail. Let's join Kevin and Linda over at the news desk. Guys?
Thank you very much, Mike. We have reports right now of hail the size of grapefruits that fell near Lake Latonka in the Lawton area. We also know that we had one person who had to run to their car for safety after their mobile home or home was destroyed. Let's take a look at the picture here.
Giant hail
Look
in
at that.
Latonka, Oklahoma. Now,
Goodness.
don't you know they're going to have some insurance claims coming down from that direction?
Absolutely.
We should also know that Tony Beverly, one of our live truck operators, is right now hunkered down across from a Riverwind, trying to avoid damage to the vehicles down there. But he is there watching the storm as it comes through. He's sending us back pictures, but you could see from the size of that hail that this is a serious storm in terms of damage.
They did have one person who had to run to her car for safety after her trailer was blown away, that in Comanche County. So more of these reports are coming into us, and of course we'll continue to report them to you. Let's show you our radio partners right now, where if you're going to be out and about, you can continue to listen to us, and there you see the list of many here in the metro area.
And let us remind you that I-35 is shut down from Tecumseh Road in Norman to Purcell, all as a result of this storm that's moving through that area. The University of Oklahoma Highway 76 is shut down as well. I want to tell you that. The University of Oklahoma has issued a tornado warning for their students there. They're advising them to stay in the buildings they're in, but to go to lower floors and also to go to inner rooms. So parents, be advised that your kids are aware or should be aware of what's going on in Norman right now.
We're also getting reports of power poles down. Again, the trailer blown on its side. We had a semi over on its side on the highway. So a lot of things beginning to come into us in pictures we're going to be showing you of the aftermath of the storm as it rolled through.
We'll continue to cover from here and tell you about any damage that's occurring. So far, no reports of any injuries, so that's the good news.
Yes.
But let's go back to Mike Morgan right now for an update on the storm itself.
Well, the update is the hail size, we're still showing potentially up to 2.6. Reed had golf ball or so. And so here's a tornado-warned storm. This is far south central, southeastern Oklahoma on the Red River. So it's important we show that. This is down in Bryan and Choctaw counties. But Matt, let's go back up now to the start out broad so folks can keep their point of reference here. Showers and thunderstorms around McAllister. Those are heavy. You're still under a tornado watch there. And then basically from North Norman all the way down to the eastern sections of Stevens County, Velma, Alma, Lake Fuquay, east of Marlow, Duncan, Comanche. Line of severe storms here. So I-35 will be not a good ride here down through Garvin and Murray counties as these have large damaging hail with them. Severe thunderstorm warnings in effect. Still a tornado warning just south of Norman. Let's go ahead and zoom on into that and take a look. Go over to the south dot, put that in there, and you see the mesocyclone still spinning away. But I can tell you right now that at least for the time being, it looks like it's still spinning, but the tornado potential with this is not as high as it was before, but it's right over Goolsby is where it is right now. So it's just barely grazing. Now, the bigger hail here is up in Norman, but the circulation here is just grazing the far southern sides of Norman. It's going to go right over Noble. So let's take a look at the hail sizes here. There's big hail going on. This is 2.6 to 2.7 in the orange, but notice the big hail's right up now into Norman. If we have Reed is right in the northern side of that circulation, still showing between golf ball and tennis ball size. Let's go to Reed here. He's been in big hail. Say it. Do we have his audio? Go to Reed. Yep.
Hey, Mike. Right now I'm on Highway 9 and 24. Just crossed over, just exited off I-35. And it's brutal out here. Big time rain, sporadic golf ball coming in, just shattering the whole vehicle when it hits. There's definitely some big hail. And I'm in the bear stage here on Highway 9. So it's definitely bad conditions on Highway 9. Just east of I-35. Tracking it, we've got strong northerly winds blowing into that circulation just to our south. And it definitely looks like night out here still. It has all day long, hasn't it? Heading east on Highway 9 to catch up with this circulation. But I just seem to be stocked here with rain and hail this whole entire time. Back to you, Mike.
Okay, Reed, again, Reed, just repeating, what was the biggest hail for folks who are down in Norman? What is the biggest hail you have been in down in the Norman area?
I saw just bigger than golf ball, just on just west of the River Wing Casino. And from I-35 east here, I'm seeing a little smaller than golf ball, but they're still big enough to cause hail damage and cause problems. But yeah, I'd say bigger than golf ball just west of River Wind. Obviously, it's much bigger further west than that.
Okay, let's go to the storm tracker here. Check this out. Still the big hail, bigger than golf ball. Still showing 2.5. So big hail in Norman, damaging hailstorm in Norman, and red line, center line from Noble. This is the mesocyclone from Noble up to Little Axe, up to Pink, up to Shawnee and Tecumseh. Now, it may try to turn a little more easterly, but it is going to ride into Pottawatomie County, and this is the only storm right now that has an established mesocyclone or parent circulation that is rotating of a tornado. It's the only one in the state that has that. So there are no other storms in Oklahoma that have that rotation like this storm has here, which it's going to have the biggest hail because of that, and Reed's had bigger than golf ball. Emily Sutton is on I-35 near Goolsby, and she joins us now live. Emily.
Yes, hi, Mike. Here near exit 104 on I-35 northbound near the Goolsby, Washington exit. On I-35, obviously goes down to the shutdown. Torrential downpours as of right now. We're gearing up, getting closer to that hail core. I know right now we're seeing about dime-size hail starting to mix in. Torrential downpours. Hydroplaning will be a huge concern And we've had the winds lift up quite a few times. Mike?
Okay, Emily, appreciate that. The center of the rotation now appears to be a little ways. Well, you know, it's very, very broad rotation. Let's go to the south dop. And there's nothing in here. So there's Noble, there's Norman, there's the Lloyd Noble Center. This is I-35 right here. This is Goolsby, and then I-35 south out of Goolsby, Noble here, and then down here at the bottom of the map is Purcell. There's Slaughterville. There's nothing in here that is tight in terms of any tornadoes inside the parent circulation, which is the mesocyclone. There is some damaging wind in here, and there certainly is some large hail. It is a damaging hailstorm. Let's go back over to Max 2, and there's a damaging hailstorm here continuing again right into Norman, central Norman, southern Norman. The area of yellow's gotten a little smaller here, so it's probably more golf balls now instead of bigger than golf balls earlier, but still some golf ball size hail in Norman. And right now that is running from about the OU campus down through Goolsby and on down toward Noble right now. Let's go back to the storm tracker, little broader view here. So there's the storm, tornado warning for 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes, tornado warning. No indication of a tornado looking at the wind inside, and a severe thunderstorm warning for Pottawatomie County. So this is not a tornado warning. So this is a severe thunderstorm warning here. So that would indicate what we see here, looking at live wind on the Dopplers, and from Reed being inside the mesocyclone for over an hour now, it would indicate to us that the tornado warning in 4 minutes and 30 seconds may be allowed to expire.
Correct.
I-35 north and southbound are now open. That's from the OHP. So I-35 north and southbound now have been reopened. So the tornado warning has 4 minutes and 20 seconds left to go, and it looks like it may not be extended. The tornado warning looks like it will not be extended, and we show no tornado inside that mesocyclone, but there is some big golf ball size hail. Let's go back to Bob Moore Chopper 4. We've got John Welsh. He's still on the eastern, I think the eastern side of Norman here, looking at this storm. John, what do you see right now?
Yeah, Mike, right now we're just pretty much over Lake Thunderbird here. We're at about 120th and
Thunderbird looking back to the west. So we basically have good news here on a couple of fronts. The hail sizes have come down, at least for the time being. They're down to about golf ball down in parts of Norman and down toward Noble. And some big hail also right down I-35, Purcell down to just west of Pauls Valley. Severe thunderstorm warnings all through there. The tornado warning in 3 minutes and 40 seconds is going to be allowed to expire for Cleveland County. The circulation, what is left of it, which is still there but not as significant by far, is now over Noble, and just to the east of Noble and to the west of Lake Thunderbird is weakening. So the hail sizes, as that mesocyclone weakens, the hail sizes usually come down. We do, by the way, have the report. We don't know exactly where it is, of a house in a road. We think it's down in Grady County, but we're going to do a follow-up on that. We have a report of a likely Ninnekah. We think it's around Ninnekah, of a house in a road, and that's exactly how it was put. A house in a road, and we think it may be Ninnekah. So we hope everybody down in Ninnekah, it went right over Ninnekah, as a powerful mesocyclone and looked to be a likely tornado. So we hope they're okay down there, but there's a house in a road. We think it's down in Ninnekah, but this tornado warning will be allowed to expire in 2 minutes and 45 seconds, and that's all good. Hail sizes are coming down. Do we have, who do we have here? Reed? If we have Reed, we can talk to Reed. Let's go to Mark Dillard here. Let's check it out. Mark Dillard?
Yes, Mike. I'm in Purcell trying to get through this rain here. About to cross the bridge over to Lexington. And we're going to have a flash flooding concern, especially for these low-lying areas around Purcell, going over to Lexington, all down here in McLean County. So it's just pouring down here, Mike. It's been coming down in buckets for the last 10 to 15 minutes. Already have some curb flooding going on. So, the areas that generally flood down here in the Purcell area, expect them to have some flash flooding situations going on. Still trying to track what's left of that circulation, but as you said, it's been on the downward trend so far, which is a good thing, and hopefully that will continue, but we're going to continue east with it as need be. Back to you, Mike.
Okay, appreciate that. Let's go to Aaron Brackett's stream here live. And it's rained down in Norman. If Aaron can join us here, the hail sizes have diminished some. They're still golf balls, but Aaron is in that storm. Check out, he is there. Let's go to Aaron Brackett here live. Aaron?
Yeah, Mike, I'm here right now just south of Lake Thunderbird, and basically we're inside the mesocyclone, or what's left of the mesocyclone. It's going to pass right over us here, and rainfall rates really increasing. We've had a little bit of hail, tiny hail, but that's also going to increase too. This is the same storm that we've been out ahead of, basically right on Highway 9, just staying out ahead of it. Now we're going to kind of let it roll us over here. So heavy to torrential rainfall rates right now. We've just barely been able to keep ahead of it at highway speed, so it is moving pretty quickly, and there's just a wall of dark water and some embedded hail on the way. So folks want to stay out of this as it continues rolling through this area. Mike, over to you.
Aaron, appreciate that. Let's go to the chopper here, John Welsh. He's over Lake Thunderbird here. John, basically a wall of water, a wall of hail. The mesocyclone, the parent tornado circulation, has weakened considerably. And just in the next 30 seconds here, this tornado warning is going to be allowed to expire. It's the only tornado warning in the state of Oklahoma has been for this storm right now, and it's going to be expiring here in a matter of seconds. And you're looking at a big wall of water. There's going to be some wind here. Hail sizes now running about golf balls. You're at Thunderbird, looking to the west. What do you see?
Is long. It's probably 10 here, and we'll kind of make a little bit of a turn. We'll be able to go we're about the south. We're shooting just south of Lake Thunderbird, and then Jack will keep panning the camera to the right. We'll go back towards Norman, Noble.
Okay, so you see it's all coming into Thunderbird right now. So tornado warnings have now expired completely. So there's no tornado warning right now, this moment in time, in any Oklahoma counties. So that's very good. Now, I will say, with all that being said, I will say that the mesocyclone here is making an effort to try to spin back up a little bit, and you can see that yourself by looking at the way that little curvature there is east of Norman. So that'll be red line, center line for Pink, Shawnee, and Tecumseh. Conditions are still favorable ahead of that storm for tornadic activity. So to say that the tornado warning's expired doesn't mean that it is all over. But right now, temporarily, the chance of a tornado has gone down, as we've been advertising to you for quite some time. And the hail sizes, since the mesocyclone has weakened, have also come down to a lot of quarters and golf balls. Earlier, grapefruit size hail when the mesocyclone was extremely powerful and it was producing multiple tornadoes. So you folks east, heads up, large hail damaging winds, flooding rainfall. Rainfall rates in Norman are tremendous right now. Who do we have here we can go to? Let's go to Emily, I think. Emily Sutton.
Yeah, hi, Mike. We are currently on Highway 9, eastbound, just past the National Weather Center. We are now crossing 12th Avenue, and let me tell you what, it's already starting to flood here. I know it happens in Norman all the time, but we hydroplaned several times, especially in those intersections. So obviously, heavy rain, localized flooding will be a huge concern. We had some embedded hail earlier with us. But that wasn't as bad as some of the flooding we saw along I-35, even in between the northbound and southbound is starting to flood out. So please keep that in mind. That's going to be our biggest hazard, I think, at this point. Mike?
Okay, Emily, appreciate that. So severe thunderstorm warning continues. We have a hail picture, I think, on Max 3 we can take. And this really kind of tells the story. Man, it was just an extremely powerful storm earlier. Big old chunks of ice here from SNARK. Appreciate that. So what do we have there? It looks like, do the math there on your ruler. And it looks like, right, how big is that? Check that out. What is that, 4? 4. 4 inch? God, wow. You show that to anybody else in the world, they're going to go, no way. That happens here all the time, it seems. 4-inch diameter hail. You know, how you keep that up in the air, in the updraft, for as long as it does to get that big is incredible. That updraft strength is well over 100 miles per hour in the up direction in these storms when they're producing tornadoes. And that's how they keep a 4-inch diameter hailstone up there long enough to do that. It's incredible. Other places in the world, you know, a quarter is a big deal. Here, it's 4 inches in diameter. It's incredible. So here we have severe thunderstorm warnings. Cleveland and Pottawatomie counties. The mesocyclone is intensifying a little bit just to the south of Draper Lake. With that in mind, let's go back to Bob Moore Chopper 4 and let's talk to John Welsh and see if there's any changes here in the way that looks. John, it's going to be the northern edge of that line that you're showing us right there from the chopper. What do you see? And John is traveling.
We're not seeing that much we're not seeing that much here. When we look down to the south, the meso is rising up a little bit. The rain is greatly decreasing as it comes on the east side of Lake Thunderbird here. And but when we kind of look to the north, where you were talking about, we're going to try and get around a little bit closer there and shoot towards in between the north side of Lake Thunderbird, the south side of Lake Draper. But right now the color, there's not enough light to really give us some consistency. But as far as the storm that we've been tracking all day, as it continues to come to the east, it's definitely like you've talked about. Have also lessened, as well as the temperatures cooled down. We're about 67 degrees here. So as it continues to track to the east, it's losing its severity, but we're going to get around and watch that second storm just south of Draper here, Mike.
Okay, appreciate that, John. Yeah, the northern end of that line there. It's not earth-shattering as far as what that mesocyclone has done, but it's a little ramp up. It's a little ramp up. When it ramps up, you know, they can ramp up fast, they can ramp up slow, and sometimes they ramp back down. But you know, it is ramping up a little bit. So, and the conditions are still reasonably favorable over here in Pottawatomie County, and you are under that tornado watch, meaning conditions are favorable for tornadoes, but tornado warning, of course, means that a tornado has been indicated by radar or spotted by storm trackers or the public confirmed. So the difference there. No tornado warnings anywhere in the state right now. So let's look at the line. Let's go to max 3. So that severe storms are affecting you folks down south. And you might shift over to Frederick if you're on, perhaps just to shift over to Frederick here to look at this line. We're being heavily dampened out here in the metro from these storms. So these are all severe here. So east of Norman, look at the lightning rate. A lot of lightning here east of Norman down to Purcell, all the way down to I-35 here to the west side of Pauls Valley. These are all severe. So I-35 out of Norman southbound is blinding rain, large hail, damaging winds, but I-35 has been reopened. I-35 has been reopened down to northwestern sections of Carter County, a little ways to the west and north of Ardmore. Kevin and Linda have more, guys.
All right,
we do
thank
have
you very
damage
much.
to report.
Yeah, let's take a look.
Yeah, and it began this afternoon. We're going to show you some pictures from Ninnica. And when that storm was moving over there, we had trouble seeing it because Mike said it could have been wrapped in rain. Was this a tornado or straight line winds? Perhaps we'll have to wait to see. But we had reports of houses being moved, more specifically, trailers being moved off their foundation. And if that was a house, then I'd say, that was pretty serious.
Yeah, it's just strewn all over the place. You see some of that insulation that is a common sight during tornado times here in Oklahoma when we have damage. We're not exactly sure what that structure was because it's hard to tell. And take a look again. This is down there, Lake Latonka in the Lawton area. If that hail hit somebody, it would kill them.
Yeah, at least 4 inches in diameter, and that was falling in many sections of the state. At least large hail. Perhaps that's the largest so far that we have photos of, but we've had others.
There's more damage.
And this is more damage near Ninnica. It appears, now if I'm mistaken, tell me, but it appears that might have been a porch to a mobile home. Do you see it in the back there?
Yes, yeah, it's what it looks like there. And we see metal wrapped around certain things. That tree right there looks like it was uprooted. These pictures continue to come into us, and we're going to show them to you. This is more from the Ninnica area. You see how much rain fell.
Yeah.
That looks like a flooded area with some damage behind it. Does that look like? It looks like a mobile home on its side, I think, right there.
That's exactly what it looks like, mobile home on its side. At 3:40, we received word that a semi had been flipped in Elgin. Now you can see perhaps part of one of the, it's a mattress on a power line.
Yeah,
that's exactly what it is.
Nobody was there when that happened.
Mobile homes off their foundation in Comanche County. Porter Hill, Oklahoma, damaged their fire station. That's in far eastern Comanche County. And so if you have photos, send them in to us. We have crews in the areas, but again, we're wrapping through the ones we showed you before.
This is a Forewarned Storm Team weather update.
Severe weather in progress in Oklahoma. Our storm trackers are out. We appreciate you staying with us this afternoon as we do anticipate tornadoes in Oklahoma. And we're going to be going into continuous coverage here. The way it's looking could be any moment now as tornadoes are becoming a little more likely down in southwestern Oklahoma. And we've got a lot of trackers. We've got Reed, we've got Emily, we've got Chance, we've got Corey, we've got Mark Dillard, we've got Aaron Brackett. We've got a lot of folks out here. Bob Moore Chopper 4. So let's go ahead and show you the wind damage up here in northern Oklahoma. This is in northern Oklahoma from earlier. This was the storm that tracked out of Grant County through Kay County and produced wind damage and hail damage with some winds 60, 70 miles per hour. That storm now is up in southeast Kansas. Tornado watch is in effect till 10 p.m. tonight from Oklahoma City to the southwest, south, southeast, and east. That is a tornado watch. Big supercells down in southwestern Oklahoma with severe thunderstorm warnings, but we're getting very close to tornadic activity down in Comanche County right now in the Wichita Wildlife Refuge. Here in Oklahoma City, we're getting a few areas of storms lifting out of the northern sides of the metro currently. These have little pockets of small hail, and there's a lot of small hail pockets up here in northern Oklahoma. These are rotating storms, but they're in temperatures that are 55 to 60 degrees. So they're in cool temperatures, but they're clearly, look at the arcs on them, they're all clearly spinning. So these are spinning storms, and that just ups the hail size, but they're in really cool air. So tornado potential there is really not evident. Now this is different down here. These are big supercells here. A lot of reports of baseballs now confirmed coming out of these two supercells here. Clear hook echoes. And these are moving to the east-northeast at 35 to 40 miles per hour. Severe thunderstorm warnings for Comanche County and eastern Tillman County. And not too far from getting tornadic activity here, especially this northern storm. Medicine Park here by 311, Elgin 333, Cement Surreal 345, 353. Again, baseballs confirmed with these and a tightening mesocyclone. Let's go to Reed Timmer and Dominator 4 with an update. Reed?
Hey, Mike. Right now I'm in Lawton, about to get on I-44 and head northeast toward Medicine Park. And we're southeast of this storm, and it's warm and humid out ahead of it. We did make a run at the storm just north of Highway 62, a little bit west of Lawton. It has a very strong westerly straight-line wind, and we did get a look at the circulation. Still a little bit outflow dominant, but it did look like it was starting to pull in some inflow on that east side. You can see the easterly wind starting to stream in north of that circulation. So I agree with you. The tornado threat definitely is increasing with these cells. Back to you, Mike.
Reed, appreciate that. Let's go to Jeremy's stream down here. Now, these are the supercells down in southwestern Oklahoma. So he's in the Wichita Wildlife Refuge here where that one supercell, which does have increasing climbing tornado potential, is currently located. We'll be checking with our trackers and also Bob Moore Chopper 4 throughout the day. Conditions do appear quite favorable for tornadoes. And in addition to that, baseball and larger size hail and damaging winds. These are big storms down here. So let's show these to you. Again, they're moving east-northeast at 35 to 40, occasionally a little faster than that, but 35 to 40. Northern supercell here, Medicine Park, big hail, Apache 328, Elgin 333, Fletcher 339. Where is it going after that? Well, it's going into Grady County, and it's going to go very close to Chickasha, Nenakaw, and Rush Springs. From there, it's going to go to Alec and Cox City and Bradley, and it's going to go toward Lindsay and then up toward Purcell and maybe even Norman. That's eventually where that one is heading, as long as nothing else forms out ahead of the line that may arrive there sooner.
3.4, 3.7 inch hail.
3.7, almost approaching 4-inch diameter hail. So at this point, we're talking softballs, softball size hail. This one right here. Now, Chance Cold Iron is on that one. I tell you what, it's got a really well-defined low-level circulation that is forming right now. If we have Chance Cold Iron, we can get Chance here on the video feed, as that supercell now has 3.7-inch diameter hail. So it's going way past baseball and really up there in that softball range, and even approaching grapefruit size. So it's up there in that softball size hailstone right now. Softball, grapefruit, both right up there in that 3.75 to 4.25 inch range. So you're looking at hail almost that big. So this is gigantic hail, giant hail, Indiahoma, Cache, and Lawton. When we get Chance Cold Iron, guys, on the video feed, we're going to go to him live, as the low-level circulation on that particular storm is coming up very, very fast, and it's got that gigantic hail with it, which shows that the updraft is extremely intense. So tornadoes may form very quickly, and that is heading right for Lawton. Let's go back to Reed Timmer in Dominator 4. Reed, if you've been monitoring our conversation here, 3.7-inch diameter hail west of Lawton heading for Lawton.
Hey, Mike. Yeah, we're in Lawton right now. I can see the gust front back behind me. I'm trying to get on I-44 to head northeast to get near Medicine Park to gain a visual of this circulation. You can definitely see a lot of dark sky behind me with that supercell. It is still a visual of this circulation. You can definitely see a lot of dark sky behind me with that.
Continuous coverage here, the way it's looking, could be any moment now as tornadoes are. We've got Corey, we've got Mark Dillard, we've got Aaron Brackett, we've got a lot of folks out here. Bob Moore Chopper 4. So let's go ahead and show you the wind damage up here in northern Oklahoma. This is in northern Oklahoma from earlier. This was the storm that tracked out of Grant County through Kay County and produced wind damage and hail damage with some winds 60, 70 miles per hour. That's up in southeast Kansas. Tornado watch is in effect till 10 p.m. tonight from Oklahoma City to the southwest, south, southeast, and east. That is a tornado watch. Big supercells down in southwestern Oklahoma with severe thunderstorm warnings, but we're getting very close to tornadic activity.
Being accepted into 8 University was like being on a wild goose chase. While relieved the excitement is over, he attributes his preparation success to his passion for studying what he loves. Rasmussen of Edmond North says he wants to work in international affairs. He says being accepted into 8 University was like being on a wild goose chase. While relieved the excitement is over, he attributes his preparation success to his passion for studying what he loves. Rasmussen of Edmond North says he wants to work in international affairs. He says being accepted into 8 University was like being on a wild goose chase. While relieved the excitement is over, he attributes his preparation success to his passion for studying what he loves. Rasmussen of Edmond North says he wants to work in international affairs. He says being accepted into 8 University was like being on a wild goose.
Some inflow on that east side. You can see the easterly wind starting to stream in north of that circulation. So I agree with you. The tornado threat definitely has increased.
Be a tornado, but it was so, if it was a tornado, it was so rain wrapped they couldn't see it. It seemed to be showing indications of that on Doppler, but again, they couldn't get a visual on it. You can see the damage done. That trailer knocked its side off of its foundation.
And a lot of rain right there flooding that area as well as we continue to show you some of this damage video. And that's a mattress, folks, up on a high line. Got blown from somebody's home up into the high line. So it shows you the strength of whatever it was that came through there.
Now, it could have been straight line
Oh,
winds,
absolutely.
but you would think if it was a tornado, it would be lifting more like that.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see what the National Weather Service says. And we have crews on the way right now. In fact, they should be arriving shortly. We've also got Chopper 4, Bob Moore Chopper 4, heading that direction to give you visuals of the damage in Ninnekah and to follow that storm as it started and moved up towards Riverwind and into Norman and now through Shawnee. So we'll see what other damage we can see from the air before it gets dark.
And we had one of our crews there across from Riverwind, our faithful live shot operator, live truck operator, Tony Beverly. And he was hunkered down at the gas station there as the hail was pounding. So that's what we're following right now. We'll have more for you later. Let's go back to Mike in the forewarned storm center.
Boy, you know, you see those pictures, guys, from Nennecaw, you start seeing mattresses up in trees, right? And then you see damage with it takes on an ominous feel when you start seeing things like that. So we've got a couple of storm trackers who are getting very close now to Nennecaw, and we'll be checking in with them to check on those folks down there, Nennecaw community down on Highway 81, a little ways south of Chickasha from earlier, and the circulation with that tornado warning and the tornadoes that our trackers were spotting for you was really vicious in through the Nennecaw area. So we just hope that they are okay. So what we have going on right now, the hail sizes in this line, which is the only severe storm in our viewing area right now, which is running basically from McLeod down to Twin Lakes, down to Macomb, and then on down to just west of Winnett and Asher. The hail sizes in this have come down, and there's a lot of nickels, dimes, and quarters in through here. Nickels, dimes, quarters, and there may or may not be any golf balls. If there are, it might be near Pink, but there may not be any golf balls left either. The hail sizes continue to come down, so severe thunderstorm warning in effect here, and this is going to be Tecumseh at 5:46 and Shawnee at 5:50, which is in about 10 minutes from right now. So damaging winds. See the bow echo here. The bow echo here is coming out, so that means winds from the west blowing to the east and to the east-northeast may be damaging because of that bow there in the line as it comes through Pottawatomie County, Shawnee down through Tecumseh on down to St. Louis. So, you know, you folks in Pottawatomie County can't let your guard down completely because of this damaging wind threat. Nickel, dime, quarter-size hail. Might be a couple bigger than quarters there near Pink, where you see the purple right now as it pushes to the east-northeast at about 35 miles per hour. What's left of the mesocyclone is still there, and it's passing now from Cleveland County into Pottawatomie County, and there could be some damaging winds still left in that general location, but that mesocyclone there has weakened considerably. Here are the hail sizes on Max 2, and we can show you the hail sizes here have come down. Still a little pocket there, again, west of Pink, where there might be some about golf ball. They're on the western side of Pink. North and south of that, the hail sizes really are not very big at all. They're like nickels and dimes at the most. So we still have this hail core here that is still approaching golf ball size just on the western side of Pink. And you see there how the colors have all kind of flattened out there from earlier when the hail was larger than golf ball back southwest of Norman. So that'll be heading up through Bethel Acres and Shawnee. So you folks may have quarter-size hail. There might be still some hailstones approaching a golf ball in a localized area there coming into northern Pottawatomie County. Back south here, the hail sizes back down toward Pauls Valley are now running nickel size and under. Couple of pockets of nickels there, but no severe thunderstorm warning for Garvin County because the hail size is just under the severe thunderstorm warning criteria. So that's an update for you folks down to the south. Back to the storm tracker here. Everything else is looking really good. Hail over in eastern Oklahoma, but a definite trend in the down direction here as far as these storms are concerned. So Kevin and Linda, we continue to make steps in the right direction. The tornado watch does continue, though, ahead of this line, especially this leftover mesocyclone here. Still a tornado watch here, so we still have quite a few trackers on it. But again, compared to earlier today, hail size is much, much smaller, and of course the threat of a tornado is way, way, way lower for right now, and there are no tornado warnings. We're going to keep close track of this and have updates here in just a minute.
And that's good
Paul
news.
Timmons from the OHP joining us right now. And Paul, we know that portions of the H.E. Bailey appeared to be closed for a time, and you closed some other roads as these storms moved through that area. Can you tell us what was happening?
Well, the Bailey Turnpike was never actually closed. We had a semi that was blown over around the 53-mile marker westbound, but Turnpike officials were able to get out with an aerial awards and direct traffic around where the semi had blown over. So we were able to keep traffic moving westbound. We did close the interstate in both directions here in the metro area, southbound at Tecumseh Road and then northbound at mile marker 98. That was more of a precaution because with the reports that we were getting, we felt, you know, there may be a tornado that come across the interstate. So we were trying to keep people as safe as possible during that time.
And Captain Timmons, we know that flooding, of course, is such an issue with traffic. Do we have some low areas on state highways and interstates that were flooded?
Not that I've been made aware of. You know, traffic is backed up quite a bit around the metro now because it's Friday and, you know, quitting time for everybody. But and due to the fact that we did have the interstate shut down for a while, so everything is just really clogged up right now, and it's starting to gradually thin out. So over time, it will be moving more at a regular pace, but right now it's just kind of backed up.
And we do have some photos of the damage in Endicott. Do you have any of your folks in that area taking a look?
I've not been made aware of it. If so, it would be out of the Lawton headquarters, and they haven't put anything out to me yet.
Well, Captain Paul Timmons, we appreciate your help this afternoon. If there's anything we can do to help you, all you have to do is call. Thank you, sir.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you.
We do have a picture that we're efforting to show you of a tornado in cement, and it looked like, do we have it? Not yet. We're working to get that for you, but I can see it right here on my monitor, and it looks definitely like one that's on the ground. So we're going to show you that here in just a little bit.
So, Mike, we've had our hands full this afternoon. You did a great job of tracking this storm as it moved through, but if there was a twister in Endicott, it was hard to see.
Well, it was involved in rain much of the time. The beauty of a Doppler radar is that even though it's involved in rain, you can see the rain motion. And that's the beauty of a Doppler radar as opposed to a conventional radar. A Doppler can actually see the motion of that rain. So even if the tornado is in the rain, the tornado is still there, and it's still moving the rain in a tornado fashion. So you can actually see the motion of the rain and identify whether or not that is a tornado signature inside that rain or not. So you can see inside of that rain, even though visually it may not look like it's a big deal. And that becomes a problem with the bigger tornadoes. And I think folks who have seen bigger tornadoes in Oklahoma, you know, that would stand true. You know, they would tell you, the folks that have seen them, whether you're a storm tracker or whether you've had the unfortunate you know, incident of having to go through a big tornado like so many of us have, in many cases it becomes difficult to see those bigger tornadoes. So that's from Mark Dillard there showing the cement tornado. And this was one, we believe, of quite a few down there in Comanche County and maybe far southeastern Caddo County over into Grady County. And then after it moved out of Grady County and came up toward Norman, there might have been a rain-wrapped tornado inside of there, a little ways southwest of Norman. And then after that, the tornado potential in this storm started to go down, and Norman had a hailstorm. And in some cases, the hail was bigger than golf balls. But there's a shot of the cement tornado from Mark Dillard. We're still tracking some severe weather, guys, especially coming into Shawnee right now. An update on that here in just a minute.
All right, Mike, thank you.
Thank you.
Albert Ashwood, the Executive Director of the Oklahoma Emergency Management Office, is on with us right now. Albert, you folks have been busy the last few weeks here, the last few days rather, getting ready for severe weather. And I know your job is to help local communities who can't handle it themselves. What are you hearing from those folks right now?
Well, right now we have just preliminary damage assessments that are out there. We have the same thing you're reporting. We got poles down. We've got a mobile home that was hit. We have a few other what seem to be minor damages right now, but we're going to do a more thorough assessment before the evening's over with.
So when you do those assessments, you send crews out from your state emergency management offices to take a look?
We do send people out that help our local emergency management directors who are out there, make sure that they give them the extra resources they need to go out and do a thorough assessment. And
based on what you're hearing right now, we've been pretty lucky so far this storm season. I mean, those people who have been hit certainly don't feel lucky, but it could have been much worse.
Yeah, that's always the case. If it's your house, it's not very lucky, but at the same time, on a grander scale, we've been very fortunate so far.
Albert, we know you guys are in the bunker there near the state capitol complex. We have a picture of that, but we can show later. But you might kind of describe the scene down there and what you guys do and when you got there today and what you're looking at.
Well, what we do basically is that we provide one-stop shopping for any state resource that you need following any kind of emergency. So we have our partners down here. Right now we have OHP down here, Red Cross, Insurance Department, Homeland Security. We've got others that are coming in, usually the Military Department, Department of Transportation. They're down here. And if you need any of those types of resources, then we can get them just from one-stop shopping here. You can make one call, then we'll have them out to help you out.
Well, Albert, we sure appreciate you joining us. If there's anything we can do to help you, just let us know, and we'll do what we can.
No, you guys do a great job. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
And so those storms have moved through the metro for the most part. We've had people calling from Yukon and Edmond and wanting to know if they are out of danger. Truthfully, although you've got lightning and a lot of rain, the dangerous storms didn't move that far north. They were primarily around the Norman area and south of there, now moving towards Shawnee, as I understand it.
Right, and we're now getting word that I-35 back open at the Highway 101 marker. It was closed earlier, we believe, because of some heavy rain in that area. And we were talking with Mike earlier. Mike, I have a question for you when you get a chance. When those storms hit the cooler air here in central Oklahoma, is that what slowed down the circulation?
I don't think he's over there,
He's
but I
not
do
ready
want to
yet.
show you a
Okay.
photo that we've gotten in, because these storms are frightening for people who, this young
Aw.
person in a storm shelter.
Yeah.
And it is frightening to be in a storm shelter and not know what's going on. If I can just advise you to try the Forewarn Me app, you'll have a better understanding of what's happening over your head. It's a live stream, doesn't require electricity. You can watch and know what's happening in your area and perhaps take away some of the fear, because that's not, no one wants to be afraid. You just
Right.
want to be prepared.
And that's what, and she was smart to be in her storm shelter. But that's the tornado near cement, or as some people down there call it, cement, because I've been corrected on that before. But that's what was coming through, and Mark Dillard got that picture. He was right there near the storm, he and Kevin Cosby.
And Mike, you're wanting to continue following these storms because of their movement towards the Shawnee area.
Well, that's right. And there is still some pretty good wind in through here. So, and this is damaging wind. It's coming into Shawnee right now. So 550, it's 548. So 2 minutes Shawnee, OBU, and then Earlsboro and Meeker, and on down toward Payson, 604. So this is damaging wind. Let's go to Max 2 here, show you the motion. And Max 2 clearly shows how that gust front, look how that gust front there is coming out. It's bowing out pretty quickly. So that indicates higher velocity wind coming in through here. So that's why we have a severe thunderstorm warning out for Pottawatomie County. So that'll be wind from the west and from the southwest, especially southwest, and a west wind blowing to the east. So you want to be away from windows here, and that is coming into Shawnee right now. So Pottawatomie County severe. Let's go back to the storm tracker. Another severe storm down in Garvin County, Pauls Valley southward. So the Garvin County storm here, Wynnewood 555 and Joy at 556, and then Stratford by 620. And then Fitzhugh, that's over in Pontotoc County, by 635, and Center also on the west side of Ada is 635 as well. So that would be over in Pontotoc County. That storm is severe right there. It's very close to just north of the Arbuckles, just north of Davis and Turner Falls. Biggest hail core there, still showing about golf balls, and it's made a noticeable increase in intensity. So that storm right there. Do we have Mark Dillard here, I think, on the bridge line? He's got some hail over here near Bethel Acres. Can we go to Mark Dillard? Is he there?
Mike, I'm in Norman.
Okay. Kevin Cosby, I think, reported hail a short while ago near.
Yes, his parents just had their power go out and had some dime hail and some high winds just as that the last of that circulation kind of passed through the Bethel Acres area.
Okay, appreciate that. So let's go back over to Max 2. Still a tornado watch here, so there is still some rotation here. And this is now coming into Shawnee, and it's upswinged a little bit here. So this rotation here has come up, which means the hail size is going to come up, and the potential for damaging winds has come up. And there is a mesocyclone. It's the same mesocyclone that's been tracking all the way across Oklahoma. And yes, the hail sizes are coming up, and now they're running golf ball to almost tennis ball size, and the computer actually cranking out baseball size. So it seems like tennis ball would be a good bet in through there. So Shawnee, damaging winds, damaging hail. And the hail sizes are coming up, and that mesocyclone is coming up. Our trackers that are still tracking that, we have, I think, 3 or 4. Corey. Let's go to Corey here, Inman, Shawnee. Rotation increasing now, Corey, in the Shawnee area. What do you have?
Yeah, Mike, I'm on Highway 177 coming into the south side of Shawnee. This thing really started to get south. We got 60, 65 mile an hour winds as we came through Tecumseh. Haven't seen anything bigger than a quarter to half hour side. There's a lot of heavy rain in Shawnee right now, Mike.
Okay, a lot of heavy rain in Shawnee. Corey, I want to talk to you a little bit more. You're there on 40, and the rotation is going to be just south of 40. You're going eastbound, is that right?
I'm going northbound on 177 towards 40, Mike. The area of rotation is just off my head.
I'm sorry, yes, area rotation's very close to you if you're northbound there on 177. So I want to kind of stay with you and I want to talk about this because that's kind of some blowing spray in through there, and so the drops of rain are being blown around by some higher velocity winds, and that can sometimes indicate increasing mesocyclone. We are showing, we're showing some good wind, some strong wind coming through Shawnee right now, and it looks like it is running about 70 miles per hour now in the Shawnee area. So, Corey, let's talk to you again from Shawnee, showing winds about 70, and there is some rotation there coming into Shawnee. Let's get an update from you.
Yeah, Mike, right now we're in very heavy rain, getting 45 We come through Shawnee and take up like 45 40. We may have to go over here this facility. The hail has really started to increase here on 177. And right now it's running about 45.
Okay, let's go over to Emily Sutton, also in Shawnee. Emily? She's on the bridge line here. Let's go over to the south dop here. Look at the wind. When you get Emily, let me know. She's on the bridge line. So the strong winds here are in Shawnee right now. They're just coming into Shawnee on this southern side of where this mesocyclone is, and that's winds right there about 70 miles per hour. Right on the southeastern sides of Shawnee. It's been swinging through here in the past 60 seconds or so through Shawnee, and the mesocyclone is up here on I-40 on the eastern sides of Dale. Now, just to be clear, there's no tornado warning. However, there's a lot more going on with this than there was about 15 minutes ago. It really ramped down. Now it's ramped back up. No tornado warning, but punching gust front on the south side of a mesocyclone. There is golf balls and tennis balls now to just on the west side of Dale and Bethel Acres. Let's go back over to Max 2 and show you the motion on that. And you see, look at the mesocyclone there and the hook there trying to swing around. So that's still a significant storm. That's why there's still a tornado watch in effect. Exactly why there's still a tornado watch in effect. Do you guys have Emily here on the bridge line? We can talk to Emily. Flooding, you said? Yep.
There's some flooding on campus, not major.
Yep, she's calling in right now. So still this big hail here, tennis ball. They're just now coming into Shawnee, so it's going to be a damaging wind and a damaging hailstorm here. There's a large pocket there of golf ball to tennis ball. Emily now joins us here live. Emily?
Hi, Mike. Sorry, we had call failure due to the heavy rain. We are heading northbound on 177. We are just about a mile southwest of Shawnee, and right now we're running into extremely heavy rainfall. We haven't really encountered too much hail yet, but I have noticed that the winds are really picking up. We have about several waves and bands of rain just washing through. Watch out for hydroplaning, as we're going to keep an eye out for that hail core you're talking about.
Yeah, the hail sizes there they're pretty darn big on the western sides of Shawnee, and I would say that damaging hail storm will be coming into Shawnee, especially central Shawnee and north Shawnee, the way it looks here in just the next couple of minutes. From there, less intense activity here, but look how it's expanding. Look how the hail core there is getting larger and larger. So you're looking at golf balls and tennis balls. There's Shawnee. You can see the motion of it. So at least, for the biggest hail, central and northern Shawnee. And that area there, that's tennis ball size hail. Might even be a little bigger than tennis ball size hail. Now, there's some brighter orange in there, and the mesocyclone there is on the southeast side of Shawnee and over Shawnee, so it's being lifted up. The updraft's lifting everything up, and up above the mesocyclone and right behind the mesocyclone, you're getting wraparound, very, very large hail. If Emily's still with us, we'd like to go back to her shot and talk to her again since she's right there. Emily, what do you have?
Yeah, Mike. All right, we're just starting to hear the hail. Right now, we are just about half a mile to a mile west-northwest of Shawnee, and wow, the wind is starting to ramp up. Oh my God! Whoa! We can't see anything. Wow, we gotta stop for a second, Mike. Literally blinding rainfall. This has to be 70-mile-per-hour winds that just ramped up. Folks in Shawnee, gear up for it. Right now, where we're located, again, this is just northwest of Shawnee. We're starting to get hail. All right, we're starting to see leaves flying across us, Mike. It's going to be 70-mile-per-hour wind. Hail starting to pick up. We can even smell the leaves. Leaves are flying everywhere.
Yep, this is the Shawnee area. We're going to stay with Emily. Mesocyclone has ramped up, hail size has gotten bigger, and she now has that what we call ground truth. She has ground truth of 70-mile-an-hour winds here with some leaves flying through the air and the hail's getting bigger. So she's in the middle of a severe storm, to say the least, right here. She's on the northwest side of Shawnee, North Shawnee on I-40 here. Emily?
Yeah, Mike. Wow. The hail is certainly picking up. Just to be, what size would you say it is? Golf ball to larger, maybe? You know it's a strong hailstorm when you see leaves flying everywhere. We can actually smell the grass and the leaves through our car, and our windows are shut down. Some quarter sounds larger than that. We've got some local spots of probably golf ball size hail. The roads immediately flooding. Mike, about 3 minutes ago when we were live with you, those winds were so strong we had to stop because we couldn't even see anything in front of us.
Okay, the biggest hail appears to be on the northwest side of Shawnee, right up to I-40 near 177 junctions in with I-40, and there's the hail core right there. And look how the hail's even gotten bigger. You know, if you're watching the trend there, it went from golf ball to golf ball, tennis ball to tennis ball. Now it's baseball, and, you know, 3.5 is a lot bigger than a baseball. So the computer algorithm, the computer program is cranking out some really big hail here, which could easily be bigger than a tennis ball. And it is on the northern and northwestern sides of Shawnee is where that biggest hail is right now. So let's go back to Emily. We can go to Corey as well. Let's go to Emily here first and then go over to Corey. This is a substantial severe storm now in Shawnee, quite damaging.
Definitely, Mike. We're still on I-77 northbound. We're passing the Shawnee Expo Center, and we're just coming up on the light at Leo Street. And, yes, we have encountered at least golf ball size hail. Right now it's back to dimes and nickels. Torrential downpours. I mean, it was so heavy earlier that it's blinding. And there has to be at least 60 to 70 miles per hour winds with this. It looks like we are directly on the northwest side that you're talking about, Mike. Probably 2 miles northwest of Shawnee, heading towards I-40 on 177. And, yeah, I think we're driving it. I think we drove into that hail core earlier, seeing the leaves just whipping through the air and the fresh smell of leaves and grass.
Okay, we're showing a little bit of a, we're showing a pretty strong mesocyclone here forming. It's getting a little bit disconcerting now. Okay, let's go to Corey Inman here. We're getting a strong mesocyclone now forming on the northern side of Shawnee on I-40. Now there's no tornado warning in effect, but just looking at it sweep by sweep here from our Dopplers here, it is changing literally every sweep that goes through. It's completely changing, and it's all ramping up. Let's go to Corey Inman here. He's in Shawnee. Corey?
Yeah, Mike, we're on 177 a mile south of I-40, and Emily's exactly right. We drove through golf ball size hail and 70 to 80 mile an hour winds as the floor passed over the top of us. We had to pull over here. The ground on the north side of Shawnee is covered with hail, anywhere from quarters to golf balls. The area of rotation that you're talking about is just off to our northeast. But there's so much rain and hail in here, Mike, that it's hard to see anything. We're gonna track up here to I-40 and see if we can get east. Back to you.
Well, I tell you what, right there, very close to the Shawnee Mall, the rotation is getting quite strong. So if Emily is, let's go over to the South Doppler and look at the velocity here, right here. So here's Shawnee. So you travel north to I-40 right here. This is the Lincoln County line right here. So Lincoln County here, Pottawatomie County here, Shawnee Mall here. Let the beam come through it. It's still there. There's some strong wind shear right there, and it's really close together, going different directions. So this has changed remarkably just in the past 5 minutes, 4 minutes, right on the northern side of Shawnee. That's why the hail's getting so big on the northwest side of Shawnee so fast, because this mesocyclone is just ramping up. let's take the Bethel Acres hail wind here. Bethel Acres there. This just swept through the Bethel Acres area just moments ago of the hail and the wind. And so now that hail now on the northern and western sides of Shawnee with an intensifying mesocyclone very rapidly here on the northern side. Check that out. That's, man. Appreciate that. That's a serious, severe storm right there for sure. Appreciate the video file coming in on social media. And, man, and she's backed away from the window there a little bit as well. Things are blowing around. So that's really, you know, you got to be really careful with these because these can blow windows out. And that can be a real problem, of course, if the wind goes from 50 to 80 and that window blows out. Let's go back over to Emily Sutton. Appreciate the video file. That's pretty ferocious for sure. That was Bethel Acres there on the west side of Shawnee. Emily, the mesocyclone is strengthening fast there on the northern side of Shawnee. It may have actually ramped down here on the last sweep, but how's your hail doing?
Well, Mike, we're currently not in the hail, but we're trying to get close to the core of that mesocyclone. We just passed the casino, and we are heading back east, and then we're planning on traveling north. We see leaves everywhere. Honestly, I think we were in the middle of that circulation earlier when I have never experienced that in my life, where the rain was so strong that I could not see anything in front of us. We had to stop because we could not see anything in front of us. Right now, you can tell the hail went through. I'm not seeing it. It must have melted on the ground, but there's definitely leaves still everywhere. We're going to continue to head towards that circulation.
Emily, appreciate that. Let's jump over now to Corey Inman. So what we're tracking here is the hailstorm and a developing stronger mesocyclone, getting pretty strong in Shawnee. And Corey's been tracking this up toward I-35. Corey, it looks like that is probably I-35, or is that 177? Man, look at the water, too. You got a lot of water there off the side of the road.
Yeah, this is still 177, Mike. We're coming up on I-40 now. There's water everywhere in Shawnee. As that storm came through, it dumped a tremendous amount of rain. All of the intersections are standing full of water. There were some tree limbs down on 177, about 2 miles to the south of I-40, and we're going to try to get up here and track back to the east on I-40 and see what we can see from the east.
Okay, let's go over to Aaron Brackett. He's in Shawnee. Aaron Brackett, check out your view here. Tell us where you are. What do you see, Shawnee?
Well, Mike, I got to tell you, we're just out of Shawnee, about heading back on I-40 here, just barely out of it. And as soon as the skies are dark and you have rain like Emily had, it instantly becomes sunny. So this is the backside of the storm has the sharp gradient. I'll confirm exactly what she's been saying. I mean, when we were on Highway 177, we were just about 5 miles in front of Emily. So we just got rocked with winds all of a sudden, 60 miles an hour or so. The hail started, and then that little core that you're seeing there on radar, guarantee that's right over Emily. That's exactly what she had. So we were just a couple miles ahead of that. And right now, if you're looking at her stream, you already got blue skies. So the back edge of the storm comes quickly, but in the storm, it is ferocious. You don't want to be out in it, Mike.
Okay, appreciate that. And that'd be eastbound, eastbound on 40. Or you're coming from Oklahoma City, or westbound on 40 from, say, Okemah. So that area of I-40 there has really big hail on it right now, and it may be tennis ball size hail. The storm really ramped up. It may have leveled off and might be ramping down just a little bit, so the hail sizes might try to come on down a little as well. This is the anvil here. Let's go back over to either whichever picture looks better here, Corey or Emily, and let's take a look at that picture again. And from the northern side of Shawnee. So it's a powerful, severe storm here in Pottawatomie County, and the hail sizes are quite large. Intense lightning, damaging winds, 70, 75, maybe close to 80 miles per hour. There's a mesocyclone with it, and it may have actually ramped down on the past couple of sweeps, but it's still there northeast of Shawnee proper. Corey, what do you have?
Yeah, Mike, we're getting on I-40 right now. As Aaron said, once that storm moves through, we've got sunshine and blue skies just off to the west. Still have a lot of hail in this storm just off to our east. We're trying to get over here and get back caught up with it. A lot of rain, a lot of hail, and still a little bit of rotation just to the north and east of Shawnee. Back to you.
Okay, appreciate that. So here's some video here. Appreciate these video clips a lot. They really do help to tell the story. And, you know, you guys do a great job helping us tell the story, and we appreciate that a lot. Check out this video here from one of our viewers from Bethel Acres, just to the west. Holy mackerel. A hurricane going on. That was what was happening on the west side of Shawnee as we were showing that intense wind there that picked up very, very fast. And we appreciate that very much. And that, again, is that same location we showed you just a short while ago. And the wind there on our next video clip ramped up even more. That was just about 10, 15 minutes ago on the western sides of Shawnee. Kevin and Linda, we're going to keep close track of this. Still a significant severe storm east of Shawnee on I-40, west of Okemah. Other severe storms east of Pauls Valley, west of Ada. We're tracking both those areas. And also a new report of some power poles snapped and trees snapped back near Pink in Cleveland County from that very same storm right there. That's a ferocious one.
Boy, it is. Speaking of hail, my friends, we've been showing you, in case you're just now joining us at the top of the 6 o'clock hour, look at that.
That is huge. And can you imagine the damage that could have done? Crystal Cooper took that photo for us and sent it to us. Crystal, when did that happen?
That was about 3:30 this afternoon on the north side of Lawton.
Were you in your vehicle? If you were, I don't think there's much left of it. Where were you when this hail hit?
No, that was right outside my house. We ran out to try to cover some of the garden when that started coming down, and my husband made me get under cover.
Good for him.
So what type of damage to your home? Have you had a chance to look yet?
Oh, yes, we did. That passed very quickly, actually. The cars have quite a few divots. 3 out of 4 of my headlights are broken.
Mm-hmm.
But the house is totally fine. It made obvious divots in the lawn. The garden is fine. We only saw 1 onion broken, surprisingly. But I have a friend down the road who lost 2 upstairs windows.
I can believe it. Hail that size coming down at that force, just divots. You got lucky. That stuff could hit oil. It's coming down so hard, and it's so big.
I hope you guys don't get it that size. That big one looks to be about 5 inches across, and I've looked at some video my husband took since then, and I think there were bigger, but that's the only ones I was crazy enough to go out and get.
Well, send us your video. We'd like to see that as well. But truthfully, oftentimes when the hail is that big, it can go through your roof. So you were lucky.
Yeah, well, I've seen pictures of it going through people's, the sunroofs on their car here in town.
So all in all, how long do you think this lasted? Couple of minutes?
Just a few, no more than 5 minutes, and then it sounds like it might have been a tornado just a couple miles down the road.
Okay.
Well, Crystal Cooper, thank you very much for sending us those pictures. We're glad you and your husband and everybody else in the area is all right, and we appreciate you talking with us.
Yeah, and we're looking out for you guys, too.
All right.
Well, thank you very much. We appreciate that. And sometimes it's not a bad idea to freeze that in your freezer so when it comes time for the insurance claim, you can prove what came through.
That's a great idea.
As well as taking pictures. I mean, she's got pictures, so maybe you don't need it in your freezer.
Well, it's still not a bad idea when you're doing those insurance claims, as you said. Let's go to Emily Sutton. Emily, that's flooding. Where are you, Em?
Hey, guys. Kevin Joseph and I are in the heart of Shawnee. We're on Plaza Drive and Kickapoo Street. I just asked this gentleman if he's okay. His car stalled out. He has someone coming, thank goodness. But wow, Josie, let's stand over here. The streets are completely flooded in Shawnee. What? Oh my goodness, yeah, I better roll up my window. Oh, he's trying to start his car. Not looking good. And massive flooding situation here in Shawnee. Be aware also of hydroplaning. I mean, people are trying to drive in this, and we are actually seeing tidal waves as people drive through.
Well, the trucks are making it just fine. I just hope they don't throw it up into your window if you still got it open.
Right.
No, we closed it. We're good. But you're right. These compact cars, though, that are trying to drive through it, unfortunately, one of them ended up stalling out. So just the lesson we always learn with flooding is, unfortunately, flood water can be quite deceiving and quite dangerous.
Mike, what do you think about this?
Mike?
Well, maybe he went to the...
No, he's right there. Mike, what do you think about this flooding here?
I think that it's just more incredible things, guys, right? And what Crystal said to you I thought was amazing. She said, yes, it was 4-inch diameter hail, and I think we might have seen a 5-inch diameter hailstone.
Unbelievable.
Where else, really on earth are you going to hear folks say that?
Yeah, and she ran out dodging them trying to get that.
Exactly.
Luckily, her husband brought her in.
Exactly. And we're trying to figure out which one, might have been the smarter of the two. Of course, we'll say Crystal was because she was talking to you, right? But at least her husband might have been looking out for her or vice versa. We're not sure which.
Because if that hits somebody in the head.
Folks have, as you know, Kevin, that folks have been killed out in the Texas Panhandle.
Yes.
And that's because of 2 reasons. They can get hail that big too, and they don't have any place where they can, actually seek shelter out there. because it's just so flat and there's nothing you can go, dive under to get out of the way of the hail. So folks have been killed. Yeah, it's happened several times, back in the 20s and 30s. And even in recent times, there's been, I think, a couple of fatalities and quite a few serious injuries. So the good news is about that flooding there you're talking about was that rain now has just come to a dramatic end. And Emily shot it wasn't even raining. But there was so much water, so that came up so fast in Shawnee because this rain and hail, sometimes the hail will clog the storm drains. So it wouldn't be impossible, although it didn't look like it in that picture, but the storm drains could be clogged from the hail, so you can't get the water to get through the hail to get into the storm drain. So you wind up getting even more severe flooding, and that's happened here in Oklahoma City. You can recall on quite a few instances, especially back in 2010, we had some huge hailstorms that came through repeatedly, and they clogged the storm drains. So this storm is still severe. The mesocyclone with it has weakened some. It's kind of blown out here. The outflow here from the wind that Emily was showing you, 70, 75 miles per hour with blowing leaves around, blew out the mesocyclone. It just blew it out. And plus the hail cools the air. Rain cools it and hail cools it, which makes the air heavier since colder air is heavier. And the momentum from the gust front and the coldness of the air will blow out the mesocyclone and kind of undercut it, if you will, or kind of cut it at the knees, if you will, and it will weaken the mesocyclone. So that's why oftentimes big hailstorms that produce tons of hail over the same location many times over minutes of time, oftentimes will quit producing tornadoes because it just blows out from cold air, and you still get the mesocyclone and big hail, but it quits producing tornadoes. So that was good. In that case, the wind blew the mesocyclone out. It might try to recycle. So you folks in Okemah, let's go to the storm tracker. Okemah, you folks may still have some very large hail, and it is right near Prague now. South of Prague is where it is, and then Payton, Cromwell, Boley, and Castle, and over toward Mason and IXL and Okemah. So it's going to be heading through the Okemah area here right around 650. And it's been producing, as you saw there, those high velocity winds and some large hail and some significant flooding. The other severe storm is over here between Ada and Pauls Valley. Where is that one heading? Well, that's heading over toward Fitzhugh and Pickett and on down toward Ada by 642, and that'll be moving through Pontotoc County. It is also severe, and the hail sizes with that one are golf ball or larger, so you folks in Ada may have a damaging hailstorm, even down to Roth in southwest Pontotoc County. You may get a damaging hailstorm as well. There's Oklahoma County. The flood advisory will be allowed to expire here soon for Norman. They had a lot of high water, and I-35 is clearing up nicely all the way down to Pauls Valley. Now, I think we have Mark Dillard in Norman. Let's check it out. Here's the reason for the flood advisory. As we know, water just will stand in Norman, and Mark Dillard has covered this particular location many times, and that is the view from Norman. Of course, the rain has ended, and there's no threat for any additional rain down in Norman, so that's good. But you saw the high water in Norman, which of course that happens a lot when they have heavy rain down there and heavy storms, so there's still plenty of standing water down in Norman. Probably not huge breaking news to them as far as seeing all that water, since they get a fair amount in those flood-prone areas, but that's Mark Dillard there, it looks like, basically on the OU campus, driving through that water down in Norman. So do we have Mike Bennett by chance? Okay, we have a picture from Mike Bennett. Mike Bennett, okay, all right, well, he's arrived over in Ninnekah. So we're going to be checking with Mike Bennett in Ninnekah as we look at the folks over pictures from Ninnekah. Let's check this out. This was earlier. This was of the and Kevin and Linda were showing this to you a while ago. A couple of things to note here. Look how the debris is heavily shredded. I mean, this is obviously somebody's residence, and there's a wide area. It's a little blur to the picture, so it's tough to see what that is. But this potentially could have been a mobile home. Tough speculation here. But there's tree damage back up in here. So we're looking at this in terms of what caused this. Of course, the obvious thing is, looks like that might be a blanket or insulation right there. But this is likely somebody's, either anything from a larger outbuilding to somebody's house. But it's a little blurry, so you can't make all the fine details. But at any rate, this was the one that went right over Ninnekah. And our storm trackers are back over that area now, and they'll be reporting on this damage. Of course, we've been talking to the EMs as well. Let's go to Mark Dillard live from Norman right now. Mark?
Yes, Mike, just showing you some of the heavier flooding areas. Now, it's receded quite a bit since. It's been over 30 minutes since the rain was really still coming down here in Norman. But you see some of the folks out walking around along College Avenue This is near Lindsay and Chautauqua, and we've had a couple of cars coming through here. It's pretty high up on the tires. It's curb to curb, Mike, every bit, and it was a little bit higher just about 30 minutes ago when it was really coming down. But this is basically the area that we've seen the most water in. But the general areas in Norman that flood probably had a little flash flooding, some street flooding going on. But the water's beginning to recede now. Back to you.
Mark, appreciate that very much. Let's go over to the storm tracker. I do want to point out something to you here, and this is for you folks in Okemah. Now, east of Oklahoma City and east of I-35, there's still a tornado watch in effect, and conditions are still favorable for tornado watches, or for tornadoes to occur with the tornado watch in effect. So we have this cycling. It's a cycling supercell. It cycles up in terms of tornado potential. It cycles back down. Well, it cycled up over Shawnee, produced big hail, damaging winds and flooding, and kind of clocked Shawnee with a serious severe storm. And then it cycled down a little bit, and just in the past minute or two, it's quickly cycled back up. And that's a low-level lock now over Little. Little is in northern Seminole County. And again, these just ebb and flow, and they ebb and they flow. And right now, it's going back up in terms of potential tornadic activity. It's no tornado warning, but a potential early warning here, early indications, if you will, just to kind of perk up your ears here. Cromwell and Okemah, Okfuskee County, eastbound Interstate 40. There's I-40 right there, that yellow line. And that rotation there has come up, and it's coming up fast right now. So the bottom line with that is that you folks in Okemah and Cromwell, damaging winds, large damaging hail, and if it keeps going the way it's going, you can see the hook there forming very fast with the tornado watch in effect. It would not be impossible at all to get additional tornadic activity. Red line, center line right now for Okemah. So that is that storm to the east of Oklahoma City, down I-40 to the east of the Oklahoma City metro area right now. It's part of a bigger line of thunderstorms, but this is still the same circulation that we had all the way back down through southwestern Oklahoma, that passed over the southern sides of Norman, that just passed over Shawnee, and it's still producing significant rotation. It's right there just on the southern sides of Interstate 40 there near Okemah. So you folks in Okemah, definite heads up as that line of storms moves through your location at about 45 miles per hour, moving pretty fast. So heads up for a possible additional tornadic activity in that part of the state. Kevin and Linda, we're going to take a closer look at this, and we'll be right back with you.
All right, Mike, we appreciate that. Good job, as always, by Mike and the Forewarned Storm Team getting those pictures. And we showed you that picture. In case you haven't seen it, we hope to get it up for you again, the picture of the twister near Cement that Mark Dillard got.
We started following these storms about 2:30 this afternoon, and quickly reports started coming in around 3:40. Can't even read my own notes. It was semi-flipped into Elgin. And then after that, a mobile home was taken off of its foundation. This is the tornado that Mark Dillard found near Cement, Oklahoma. The problem that we had with this storm all afternoon is that the rain was so heavy. It was difficult to get a good outline of an actual twister, although it showed up several times on Mike's radar. So we watched for that all afternoon. This is about the best picture we got. Porter Hill, Oklahoma, damaged their fire station. That's in far eastern Comanche County.
Let me show you what was not hard to make out, and it was this lightning strike. Just watch and listen.
That even made them jump a little bit. Did you see?
Ken, it made us jump here. You can just imagine what that was like, just the absolute shock of what they saw. They were just getting pictures of the rain here, and then all of a sudden,
hit a tree.
Man, oh man.
Some of our friends in Yukon and Edmond were reporting a lot of lightning in the storms they had up there. No tornadoes reported in that area, though, so we're happy for that. Most of the tornadic activity located around the Chickasha, Grady County area and Bethel Acres. This is from Bethel Acres. The wind and the rain
and the hail.
Watch those trees if you want to see how strong the wind is. Just whipping them around like it was paper.
And the hail hitting here too, as Linda said, along with the wind and the rain. When it came through that area east of Oklahoma City, it came through hard. And you see it right there, illustrated from that video we got from Bryson Moore. Bryson, we appreciate that, my friend.
A lot of folks have been very kind to send us their videos and photographs, and we appreciate that very much. Highway Patrol at some point today closed some of the highways in Oklahoma. because of the threat of the storm or because of flooding that was happening. Most of the activity we were following was on the H.E. Bailey Turnpike. A semi flipped over. They got that cleared pretty quickly. Didn't have to close the turnpike, but they did have to route traffic around that semi that was overturned by the winds.
And we're seeing some flooding coming in. You saw from Emily Sutton in the Shawnee area. We have some still pics of that we can probably get to you in just a little bit. Let's go back to Mark Dillard, though, in Norman, where there is more flooding there. Mark, where are you? It looked like you were on Chautauqua a little bit earlier.
Kev, we're just at Parsons in College, which is just over from Chautauqua, and we still have some of the college kids out kind of wading through what's left of the curb deep water, and some cars are still going through it. Still, if you had a small car, it'd probably still be high enough to disable it once you get that wake started out in front of you. But it's slowly receding here. It was just coming down in buckets as we rolled into town earlier as that line of storms were just ripping through Norman. But right now, it's the rain stopped, and the waters are receding slowly in the flooded areas. Back to you.
Mark, thank you very much. Let me tell you what's going on behind the scenes right now so you know where we're going and where we're taking you. We've got Bob Moore Chopper 4 and John Welsh headed down to Ninnica, about 6 miles away, to give you aerial views of the damage down there. We have crews on the ground. They're shooting video. We'll get all that put together and take you there live in just a minute or two.
And we're getting information coming in from our desk. We want to tell you 2 mobile homes have been destroyed, one in Ninnica, and we're going to show you that damage again, and one in Elgin. The Red Cross working with those folks to help them out, and that is unfortunately a familiar sight in springtime in Oklahoma. Damage from a twister or strong winds scattered across the plains.
And this is another mobile home that was destroyed in the storms that moved through there. Mike was very specific when he warned the folks in that area that mobile homes were not the safe place to be. That mobile home you see right there has been flipped on its side off of its foundation. So, and a mattress, look at that mattress on that telephone line, electrical lines. It's up in the air, which gives Mike some reason to believe this was more than just straight line winds that moved through that area.
A little updraft, which could mean a twister in that area or a small one.
And look at the crawl at the bottom, a 3-point magnitude earthquake just north of Blackwell.
Right, so Oklahoma.
What a day in Oklahoma.
I know, Oklahoma, the tornadoes and stay for the earthquakes. So we got it all here. Jeremy Carter has some damage. A live picture right here. Those look like, what are those lines down, Linda?
That's one pole at the bottom of the screen.
Yeah.
It looks like it's kind of hard to see because of the crawl, but one pole is down. You can see that the line is also down. We do have reports of power outages. It's easier to see the pole there. The last time we checked, the reports were approximately 800 homes without power. Could be as many as 3,200 people, but I fear that those numbers will be going up as the numbers get in. Mike Morgan is standing by. Let's go to him now. Mike.
And Mike, there were some power outages in Lamont, which
currently have. It's amazing how it goes from nothing to everything, isn't it, during the process of an event. So we have all these storms now, eastern Kansas, eastern half of Oklahoma, and there are the current warnings now, Okfuskee County down through Carter County. Those are all severe thunderstorm warnings there. This is still a particular concern here, just east of Little, and it's pretty much red line center lining here for Okemah, and there's clearly a tight rotation right on I-40. That's the same circulation, the supercell that has been very persistent from southwestern Oklahoma, and it is now moving toward Okemah. And then as we head toward Holdenville, this is a line of heavy storms here, but it's not as heavy as the storms to the north or the storms down to the south. As you see here, southwestern Oklahoma is clear. Here are the hailstones down south running about 2-inch diameter here, east of Wynnewood, west of Roth. That's all heading for Ada, so 2-inch, maybe a little bigger than that. Another hail core down near Sulphur right now. That one's about 1.5 inches to 1.25 inches in diameter. So you folks in Ada, severe weather still heading your way the way it looks. looks. And the hail sizes here have been going back and forth between golf ball and tennis ball. Earlier it was near baseball on the west side of Shawnee. Right now it's about tennis ball with that little supercell there that's on the western sides of Okemah with some tight rotation. So if we can go to Jeremy Carter, if he's on the bridge line, he's control room, tell me if he is. Let's.
I'm here.
Yes, Jeremy, tell us what you're looking at right now. You're down there in that damage path.
Yeah, Mike, I've been kind of driving the countryside southwest of Minnecaw. Anyways, I'm seeing a lot of the same thing, a lot of down trees, a lot of down power lines. I've yet to see any significant structure damage at this point, but I'm just kind of, like I said, cruising along the countryside, and I'll report back to you as I see more things.
Okay. Well, you check back with us here, Jeremy, okay? He's surveying that damage path down there in Grady County from that earlier just monster supercell with some very large hail. I think we have Mike Bennett. Is that right? Okay, let's go to Mike Bennett here. He's also in the damage path. Mike, what have you seen down there in Grady County?
Yeah, Mike, we're between Minnecaw and Alex right now. Had one fire pole down north of Alex, some roof damage, light roof damage, and one large tree uprooted. We just left another tree that's uprooted. I think the damage passes off to our left. We're on our way to Minnecaw also. And we had a report from the fire department at Alex that there was fairly significant damage 6 to 7 miles west of Minnecaw. So we're going to be also en route to that. Back to you.
Okay, appreciate that. Let's go to the storm tracker here, checking in with Bob Moore Chopper 4 here momentarily. Let's go to the storm tracker. Just a little update here. Still no tornado warning, but it is red line, center line for Okemah. This is the rotation here. So if any storm going forward is going to produce any damage going forward, it's going to be this one right here. Okay, wow. Kevin and Linda, look at that. That's obviously some pretty significant damage right there, and I believe this is in Minnecaw. John?
Boy.
It is, Mike. This is on Sooner Road, just south of Minnecaw, on the southeast side. You can see this house has completely been blown up here. There's another house that we saw just about a mile and a half northeast of here that is like this as well. We came up here because the one thing that we noticed here, there's a lot of emergency vehicles, so we're not sure if anybody's injured in this deal or this just happened to be where they're starting their search from. As we look around, this house is completely gone. Jack, if you'll zoom out and go to your left, you'll see another mobile home that has, looks like a travel trailer and another outhouse that's been, to your left, another outhouse that's been blown up here. So we've seen a handful of structures that have been demolished. We're going to start working our way back towards town, towards Minnecaw, to the north, and we'll see if there's any in that or if this is the actual start of the damage and works back towards the northeast from here, Mike.
John, if I can ask you from the center of Minnecaw, what direction is this?
Yeah, this is going to be southeast, probably about 3.5 miles.
Okay.
It's on Sooner Road, and then Peach is going to run east and west. It's going to be 1.5 miles south of Peach on Sooner Road.
Okay, obviously there's really extensive damage. Just looking at it, you're eyeballing it right now with us here live. Can you speculate at all on whether it looks like everything's going one direction, or does there appear to be some swirling of some of that debris?
Yeah, Mike, there's definitely some swirling in the debris. There's also some definite straight line wind as well. As you can see, those trees are just blown down both straight. However, when I look at the debris, it's all in the general direction towards the northeast. Excuse me. However, it's thrown about 300 yards from the far left to the far right. And usually, straight line wind is not spread east.
Okay, you're looking at live pictures there from Minnecaw, just to the southeast of the middle of Minnecaw. John Welsh is here live reporting for us, surveying the damage of what may well have been a tornado. We'll look tomorrow, for the damage survey crews to be out here and make a final determination. But we were sure showing a tornado when the wind velocity is going through this part of Minnecaw, and that's exactly where we would have expected to see the damage. Kevin and Linda, of course, that was a lot earlier today, but that was significant damage right there, no doubt.
No doubt about that, Mike, but we have not heard of any reports of any serious injuries.
Well, we hope it stays that way.
Yeah, we do hope it stays that way, but it sounds like we know that Mike gave everybody a lot of warning, so hopefully they were able to find their safe spots and go there.
Mark Dillard has been continuing to follow the flooding in Norman. It has gotten better simply because the streets are draining, but Mark, update us on what you have now.
Yes, Linda, the streets are really starting to drain off here. We're at College and Parsons, and it's improved quite a bit. Some of the cars that were driving through, it was curb deep, and now it's really receded. So I think things are improving here slowly in the Norman area. I know there were some reports of some stalled cars near the campus corner area, and it might have been even down here on College. And I had a viewer send a picture of a college student pulling a canoe with a couple of girls in it. So that was a handy item to have around today here in the streets of Norman, where they were pulling canoes through the water. But hit very quick down here as this storm swung through, and really the line of the storm was not 10, 15 miles wide at its largest point. And it just rained and rained and rained buckets down here. And, the areas that are susceptible to flooding in Norman, of course, went into flood very quickly, flash flooding. So just a reminder, folks, a little bit of rain can go a long way in areas of poor drainage. So just keep that in mind for the next go-around. But things improving here in Norman. Back to you with it.
All right, Mark, thank you very much. We appreciate your work down there. You've been all over the state with the rest of our crews today, and we're grateful for your help.
Let's take a look at some of the pictures that have been coming into us to give you an idea of what has happened since about 1:30, 2 o'clock this afternoon. Again, that's the damage near Ninnekah that you saw from Bob Moore Chopper 4 just a little while ago, and that is about the worst we've seen so far.
I wonder if that's the same site that we were seeing from the air.
Very well could be. Very well could be.
This is another mobile home that was taken out. You can see the porch that was leading to it and now gone. A tree ripped from the ground there. And that mobile home simply pushed over on its side. Again, John Welsh was saying that he went to that original location because of the number of emergency crews
and
there.
there were a lot of them there.
If there was someone in that trailer, I fear for them because that
do
was pretty extensive
I do
damage.
too.
And you can see mattresses taken from ground level up into the air, which indicates to some that did have some twisting motion in it.
And some updraft, that's for sure, rather than just straight line winds is what we're thinking. So we'll continue to show you those pictures from the scene. Let's go back to let's go back to John Welsh and Bob Moore Chopper 4. John, fill us in. You're still in that same area. Oh boy.
Yeah, we are. Let me tell you what, this is a pretty good indication of that this actually was a tornado, not straight line winds. As Jack zooms in there, you can see that those trees and those limbs were actually twisted and pulled off. So that's an indication right there along the road that this is where the tornado actually probably started with and then continued up towards the northeast here. Southwest of this location, I'm not seeing anything. Just some little tree damage, but this is where the start of the damage was. So that's kind of the indication, as Mike was talking about earlier, from the left to right. But this is one thing that tells a pretty easy sign. If it was straight line winds or tornadoes, when the trees are actually all twisted around due to the torque effect of the tornado, that's a pretty good indicator that it wasn't straight line winds and that it was a tornado. We'll go to this. We'll start here, guys. This is
Okay, that was John Welsh reporting, and emergency vehicles on the scene. We need to find out from our crews back there, and they'll let us know if anybody was injured in all of this.
And it's that type of tree damage and those type of evidence that lets the National Weather Service determine whether that was a tornado. Is that right, Mike?
That's exactly right, and I would agree with everything that I've heard, and it was likely a tornado the way that looks, and that also at least that one structure did appear to be a manufactured home, and it looked like there were a couple others around in that exact neighborhood that were also manufactured homes. You can see some of the gabling there. It looked like that was a manufactured home. And of course, those are really quite dangerous in tornado winds in Oklahoma. We know that all so well. And historically, fatalities can often be centered, as we all know, around those manufactured homes and mobile homes. So those are certainly not safe in tornado winds. From Mears, Oklahoma, earlier in the day, the gigantic hail. There's the 4-inch diameter hail. And there was some indication there might have been some 5-inch diameter hail down there. And that was the same storm that produced that what looks to be tornado damage in Ninnekah. What we have going on right now is the severe weather has moved out of Oklahoma City. There's no longer a threat here. It's turning much cooler outside now, and that is the end of the severe weather for the Oklahoma City metro area. It is gone. But look at all the weather over to our east. We have a line of severe storms from near Ardmore up to Okemah, and that's all traveling eastbound, and the severe thunderstorm warnings are going eastbound with it. And we still have lingering flood advisories in flood-prone areas, especially around Shawnee. The water's gradually coming down in Norman. This storm here in particular, still a possibility of a tornado with this, although there's no tornado warning. The mesocyclone, or the spin here, is getting impressive, and then it tries to fill in and blow out. and tries to wrap back up again. So it's kind of ebbing and flowing as far as the tornado potential. Right now it may have temporarily ebbed back down in terms of tornado potential. But I tell you what is there is a damaging straight line wind and hail potential, and that is I-40 here. It is severe. So that's I-40 eastbound east of Shawnee on the west side of Okemah. That's a damaging hailstorm and a damaging windstorm. You do want to stay away from windows. That's the strongest storm in the state right now. Back down to west of Holdenville, hailstorms around Bing and Ada. These are severe storms here, severe hail up into southern Seminole County, and the hail cores here are running give or take golf ball. A couple of locations might have a couple of tennis balls all the way down towards Sulphur down in Murray County, and that's still running tennis balls on the western sides of Okemah. A broader view here. Severe storms, heavy storms, tornado watches eastern Texas, and a lot of rain, embedded storms, flooding potential in Arkansas, and quite a few severe storms and heavy storms over in far eastern Oklahoma. But Kevin and Linda, certainly at this juncture, it's really about three areas: Okemah, and also down from Ada to near Ardmore, and then of course the damage that we have from the earlier tornadoes back down in southwestern Oklahoma.
Mike, let me ask you one question before we leave you. Viewers are wanting to know if most of the major danger is over for tonight in the central Oklahoma area.
Yes, it certainly is. The danger peaked with that storm down in Norman, and now that danger for the metro now has ended completely. There's no chance of any more additional severe weather
radar
today.
appears to show that.
Yeah.
Yes. All right, Mike. Thank you very much. We have some new pictures coming in from the Fletcher area. That's where earlier this afternoon, a couple of hours ago, the storm went through, and there you see some damage from there.
Again, that tree looks like it has some twisted parts of it. This is more, it looks like fence damage and trees ripped out of the ground, or at least tree limbs.
From Bridget Harris near Fletcher. Bridget, we appreciate that. There's some more of her photos coming in, and some more of the damage apparently from possibly her backyard. And there's more of it right there.
Well, she's doing a good job of documenting what happened around her area. Bridget, sorry that happened to you, and that those are pictures that you're sending in, because it'd be a mess to clean up.
And it is. It's such a mess for people to deal with it. And on some damage, it's not only just the physical labor, it's the emotional distress too.
Let's go to Mike Morgan. Mike?
Let's go to the storm tracker. Tornado warning now for Fusky County. Let's go right to the storm tracker. Now this is a heads up because it's Okemah. So it's heading right into Okemah. So this is look how the rotation there has tightened back up even in the past 2 minutes. It has tightened right back up again. And because of that, tornado warning for Okemah, and it is for the city of Okemah exactly proper. It's red line, center line for Okemah. When will that be arriving? Well, we're talking about in less than 10 minutes from right now. So it's going to happen very, very fast. And in fact, it might be more like 6 minutes to 5 minutes to 4 minutes from right now. So Okemah, immediate tornado precautions. You must stay away from windows. Mobile homes would not be safe. Manufactured homes would not be safe. Again, we're looking 4 minutes, 5 minutes from right now, not very much time at all. So that is a tornado warning for the city of Okemah, with strong indications of a tornado forming rather quickly in Okemah. So we're going to come, Kevin and Linda, let me do a couple of small changes here. We'll be right back with you, but Okemah does need to seek shelter right now.
All right, sounds good. We have been showing you damage from Netticaw. We have now a live report from the ground.
Jessica Bruno is there right now. Tell us your first impressions, Jessica.
Well, what you can see right behind me is a mobile home that was destroyed not too long ago. But I'm here with Chris, who lives right by this mobile home, and your house wasn't destroyed, but you did have some damage over here, correct?
Correct.
And what damage to your home?
I'm at home here, and I got a modular home right here. The south end of the front, south end of the back had some peeling off the bottom wood you can see there. The front facing of the roof pulled off. My carport, of course, you can see fell down somewhat. Had a guest house out here, totally gone. The back of my garage is like ripped off the doors, and the roof's pulled up.
And this storm blew your mattress and your pool pretty far, didn't it?
Yes, ma'am. If you put your camera up there, there's my mattress from my guest house.
Wow.
And the pool is up the road a little bit further.
What was going through your head when all of this was happening? Because you were home at the time, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
What was going through your head?
Well, we got the alert. We were in Chickasha shopping, heard the alert, the storm coming. So we came home. Keep an eye on the weather, listen to the news till the satellite dish went out. Keep an eye out the south end of the front room. Saw my tractor trailer. I got a little trailer hauled on the lawn tractor started blowing across the yard. So I told my wife and my son to get in the center of the house, shelter down, and cover up with the mattress. And by the grace of God, we're here. So,
and you were telling me no one, to your knowledge, no one was hurt.
Correct. The people who were home were myself, my wife, and my son. We sheltered, we're fine. Cabo and his family, they sheltered in the storm shelter. Chris and his family at the destroyed home were up in the school in their shelter up there. And I talked to a few other folks coming up, and they said no one was damaged or hurt down that way either.
Well, thank you for talking with us. I did speak with Grady County officials when we got here a few minutes ago. They said 2 homes were destroyed along with this mobile home. Of course, we just got here, so we haven't had a chance to kind of look around. We're going to do that now, and we'll, of course, check in with you a bit later.
Jessica, it seemed like the man was pointing off to the left. Can you guys swing around and, well...
I don't think she can hear you.
Okay.
But I think the good news from her report is that no one appears to have been injured, even though they were staying in manufactured homes when it hit.
And again, as she said,
so dangerous.
Grady County, 1 mobile home destroyed, 2 others damaged, at least 6 large barns damaged. All of this in the town of Nennecaw. You think about it, it's a small community and singled out from all of that. There's more from Bob Moore, Chopper 4.
And right now, Okemah is in the bullseye. Let's go back to Mike Morgan for an update on the tornado that's
warning in effect for Okemah. Let's show you the storm tracker, and we're going back and forth between the tornado damage from earlier and live tornado warnings right now. And let's make something perfectly clear. 5 miles west-southwest of Okemah, there's a strong mesocyclone. It's at least going to have large damaging wind-driven hail and high-velocity damaging straight-line winds, 75 to 80 miles per hour. But there is a tornado warning. In those mobile homes, they're great places to live, but in tornadoes or near tornado type weather, they are simply not safe. And we would not want to have a problem with that if someone didn't get the message in their mobile home or manufactured home. So 4 minutes from right now, that circulation is going to come directly into Okemah with a tornado warning. Kevin and Linda will be right back with you with an update.
All right, thank you very much. And it was interesting because the gentleman said that he was in Chickasha shopping when they heard these tornado warnings, and then he went back to his manufactured home, which I think most disaster officials would advise you against.
Probably so. He's probably just so worried about it. Maybe his family was there.
Oh, absolutely. You want to know what's happening with your belongings.
That's your natural instinct, right?
Yeah.
Do we still have John Welsh in the shop from Bob Moore Chopper 4? We don't. Okay. Well, we were going to go back to that, but John was starting to show us some more of that damage in Nennecaw. Let's take a look at some more of the pics, though. Ah, that's Norman. And those areas that flood so fast down there in OU Town. Kevin Cosby got that picture for us, and it doesn't take long with that kind of heavy rain to have something like this happen.
But happy to say, after our last live shot with Mark Dillard, those streets have for the most part cleared, and things are all right in Norman as far as flooding goes.
And let's go to Mark. Mark, you still, while we're looking at pictures, let's talk to you. Looks like things are draining.
Yeah, things are draining, but one of the residents here in Norman, she just walked up and said, "Welcome to Lake McGee." We're on McGee and just to the north of Lindsay here, Kevin. Where I don't know how many times I've been down here after rains in Norman, where this intersection has been closed off by the city, but I can count dozens of times probably over the years. But just the areas in Norman of poor drainage are kind of looking like this right now. We still have water curb deep. For the most part, there's some areas over by campus as well, and their cars have had their cars disabled this afternoon. Again, we remind you, turn around, don't drown, not just because you're threatening putting your life in danger, but you're also looking at maybe damaging your car to the point where you're going to have it in the shop for a while, or worse than that, you've totaled it. So just a reminder that even in that curb deep water, it's dangerous. Back to you.
All right, thank you very much. Mike Morgan continues to follow that storm headed towards Okemah. Let's go back to him right now, Mike.
3 minutes. Oh, 3 minutes now. Fortunately, it's still coming right into Okemah. The storm's kind of exhaled a little bit, but that's irrelevant because there's still a tornado warning in effect. But it may not be quite as tightly wrapped up as it was earlier. However, with that being said, still a tornado warning, still tornado safety precautions away from windows, interior part of your home, closet or bathroom, and storm cellar or basement. And we're talking 3 minutes from right now. Let's go to the North Doppler here. It's the only tornado in the state, tornado warning in the state, Okfuskee County, and now it's just over and just to the east of the next junction down on 40. westbound out of Okemah. It is moving to the east-northeast, and the center of that rotation there now is 2.5 miles west of the western edge of Okemah. So red line, center line for Okemah. Let's go over to Max 2, take a little broader look there, and you see the damaging wind there on the south side of the mesocyclone coming east, and the mesocyclone there right on I-40 on the east-western side of Okemah. So tornado warning there, heading down 40, moving easterly at 40 miles per hour, and then south of that, some severe thunderstorms all the way down into southern Seminole County and heading into Ada. Let's walk down that line there, John, and hit the button there. There you go. So zoom into Okemah. There is the circulation there, just about 2 to 2.5 west of Okemah, and then severe storms down in southern Seminole County, severe storms Bing, Kanawha, Sassacua, Allen, on down into the Ada area. Pontotoc County, there are your hail sizes, and the hail sizes, especially north of Ada, are still running about golf ball. And with that mesocyclone there, the hail size here has come down from earlier tennis balls when our trackers were reporting over in Shawnee when there was really big hail. The hail size has come down now to golf ball, maybe a couple of small tennis balls with that mesocyclone, the parent circulation of the tornado-warned storm that is now coming directly into Okemah. Let's go back to the North Doppler, take a look at it zoomed on in to Okemah, and the circulation now entering the western side of Okemah. So now, right now, that danger of a tornado is starting to rapidly climb in the Okemah area. So you want to be in that sheltered area, interior closet or bathroom, and certainly Kevin and Linda, folks want to absolutely stay away from windows. That's one problem, is these winds come up so fast and folks might be looking at the storm. That glass can just bust out and blow out, and it can be a real problem. So folks, with storms of this magnitude, this strength, they really don't want to risk that possibility. So tornado warning for Okemah does continue.
And from tornadoes in the past, we know that the #1 cause of death is generally blunt force trauma. Second is flying glass and flying debris.
Flying debris, so big a problem, leads to so many deaths and critical injuries. Let's go back down to Jessica Bruno. Jessica is in Nennecaw, where a lot of damage took place today when the storm went through. Jessica.
Well, I'm here with Chris, whose mobile home over here was destroyed earlier. And Chris, I mean, what was going through your head? Were you home at the time?
No, we had taken shelter up at the Nennecaw school. That was the closest storm shelter that we had, and made sure that me and my wife and all of our children were up there.
Yeah, and luckily no one was hurt.
Yeah, that's the main thing. We can rebuild and recover. We're just trying to pick up all the pieces that's left.
What was going through your head when the storm hit? I mean, you probably didn't think this would happen.
No, we had no idea. Like I said, we were inside the storm shelter there at the school. You know, never would have thought that I'd not have a house to come home to.
And it sounds like so far I've been told no one's hurt and everyone's okay.
Yeah, every now and then, you know, that's what's important, is all my family members are safe. I guess it still hasn't really set in yet what has all happened, but.
So you guys just plan to kind of keep picking things up for the rest of the night and looking through stuff?
Yeah, we'll pick up the rest of the pieces what we can and try to salvage what we can and start back over tomorrow, I guess.
Yeah, and again, luckily you weren't hurt and everyone's okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm thankful for the most. And I want to thank everybody in my community. They've been real great, and a bunch of people out here to help me. We have a great community here in Nennecaw. So.
Yeah, as Chris was saying, pretty much everyone in the community is out here helping them kind of go through the rubble and pick up what they can. So a lot of community effort down here.
Chris looked a little shocked. I mean, bless, it's hard to come home, come out of a storm shelter and home and see everything gone. Only those who have lived it can understand that feeling of loss.
Absolutely, and they're feeling it in Nennecaw tonight. Let's go back to Mike Morgan in the Forewarned Storm Center.
You know, listen, that we're in that tornado, guys. It sure maybe winds 70 to 80 miles per hour. So tornado precautions continue. Tornado warning for the next 24 minutes for Okfuskee County, but for Okemah proper, peak threat of anything happening to that regard right now for about the next 5 to 7 minutes. And after that time, that hail core will finally come through behind the tornado or mesocyclone, and then things will improve. So it's going to be another with damaging winds, large hail, and a now and then down, or you're streaming a minutes or so threat, and then a wind will come in, and then a hail threat, big damaging hail threat, and that all is occurring in County. Here's Max 2. 2, a little broader view on Max 2, and you see the line there runs from northern Okfuskee County through Okemah and then down through Wetumpka and Waleetka. Flood advisory is in effect there, Polk County just west of Holdenville and south of Ada, north of Bing, and near Kanawha, and also a little ways west and southwest of Holdenville. Those are the hail sizes there, and the hail sizes in Okemah look to be about golf ball size, of course, with that tornado threat. Let's go back to the Doppler. Here shows the, again, right over Okemah. You're looking at the city streets there. These are just miles here, so the whole screen here is only about 15 miles wide, so we're zoomed way in. There's Boley up the highway up there near Castle and IXL, and Okemah has that tornado threat right now with damaging winds there on the southern side. And that tornado warning, guys, continues. It's another 21 minutes for Okfuskee County, and this tornado threat is literally right now. So those folks need to keep very, very safe and be away from windows toward the middle part of their home and a storm cellar or basement. They're likely already there. We'll have updates here in just a couple of minutes.
All right, thank you very much, Michael. For those of you who may just now be getting home and just joining us, we've had some severe weather that began about 2:30 this afternoon with damage around the Grady County area. Some trailers knocked off, some semis overturned and that type of thing. Those storms